want to sit down and just kind of get started?
Yeah, we can
or-
discuss.
Oh, I could
definitely
sit.
something.
We should discuss this.
Yeah.
It looks like
How do
a
you-
boob. I'm sorry to say, it looks like a giant boob sitting right in the middle of us.
That's okay.
Ooh.
Who is this?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to me! Hubba hubba!
We have to
Happy
introduce ourselves going around the
birthday.
circle, so please don't come up and single
Bro
me
is
out. Please.
Whoa!
Oh!
Whoa! My turn! Okay, so...
Okay, real quick. Do we
I
want
don't think
to
we can do like the conch. Like we only talk when we have the conch or something.
Oh yeah, like the talking.
Yeah,
stick.
go grab it for us. Perfect.
do we want to turn off not have cams? What do you think?
We don't have to have
versus,
versus
like-
we don't want to.
How
All
many
6
people
of us.
can be in a
No,
stream
it can,
together?
it
Isn't
can,
it
it can
6?
support 6. And we
Oh,
only have
can
5
it?
right now.
We could do it.
It can
Oh.
support all of us, but I just do want to make a point to note that the game did say don't look at each other's faces, but it's also like don't look at
No, it says
Oh.
don't look at each other's screens. It didn't say anything about faces. It just says don't look
No,
at
it did
anybody
say
else's
both.
screen.
It said, yeah, no, it
We
said
bet
don't
you
look
$5
at
right
face.
now,
Why?
you won't. Put 500
I
right this
can't see
second.
my poker face.
500
exactly.
It's a
dollars or pennies?
5, whatever it is, 5 though. Just shake-
$500
I
million
can't
of
see if they're shaking
dollars.
because I don't have cams on.
Well, shake your head like this. Wait, can someone nod and see if it, like,
Yeah.
if you nod and shake your
Nodding.
head?
Oh,
I'm nodding.
Yep. I agree.
You're
the mouth
nodding?
moves.
Okay, now shake your head. Okay,
So
should we
that
all,
picks
should we
you
all
up.
introduce ourselves?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I like
Sure,
that.
fine,
I like
whatever.
that. Yeah, no, I like that. That's really good.
Okay, so whoever's introducing themselves, maybe they stay in the circle here.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Yeah,
Start with the
girl.
birthday.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lass.
So sorry.
You have the
And I'm
power
on
of
her
corporation.
shoulders.
I
Yeah,
can't
excuse
stop
me.
picking people up.
So strong. My name is Lass. It's like an AA meeting. I'm Lass. Hi, Lass.
Hi, Lass.
Birthday
Thank you.
Lass.
Thank you. I'm 26 years old as of today, uninsured, but nevertheless happy to be here and excited to go on a big walk. I love walking and I love exploring. Thank you very much.
We'll
Nice
keep
to
you
meet you.
safe
W-
without that
Fuck yeah,
insurance.
fuck yeah. Do we
W
go in
intro, W
clockwise?
Thank you.
intro.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello.
My name is Julia. You might see
Hi,
my
Hi, Julia.
Thank you. Don't
Oh,
fucking push me off. Go sit the fuck
Sorry,
down.
sorry.
I wasn't done. Thank you. You might see my username as what if
Vanessa.
Julia around town. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm 31
Okay.
years old. I've been off my parents' insurance for
Wait,
5 years.
what?
And it's been a wild ride.
Woo. There you go.
Love it.
W,
clapper.
W insurance talk.
W.
Insurance talk.
My turn. All right. Hello. My name is Kaylee.
Okay.
Hi, Kaylee.
Thank you. I'm on my parents' insurance. I'm 23, and I see her on parents' insurance, and I'm so happy to be here. And my favorite color is purple.
Very nice.
Yeah, everyone
Okay.
please give their insurance status if you could, please.
Oh man, I am on my own insurance, but I received urgent care. Sat for like 6 hours, paid for something, nothing else. So that's what I have to look forward to, I guess. But I'm also here not just playing. I'm the jester that you have for birthday party. So at any point,
Oh,
if you want me to
personality
vote
hire?
fully, yeah, I'm just gonna
Did,
roll
did
around
his
with it.
audio lag
Yeah,
for
did you?
anyone else or just
I was
me?
to say he sounded like Verizon Wireless, like customer support for
Oh,
a
you
second.
sounded
It
I
sounded like
actually sounded fine.
beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, hey Bethany, somebody's in our computer and we gotta figure it out.
We're screwed.
Oh, good. You brought the light. I was worried.
Juliet. Sorry, Anthony. Go
Hey,
ahead, sit
bub.
down.
Oh, here we go.
Hi, I'm Banthony. I am also 26.
Hi, Bethany.
Hi, Anthony.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, and Anthony.
Hi.
And this is the first time I've walked this year, so I'm excited.
Ooh.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
So I remember my first
Nice.
walk.
Big walk. All right, so I think we're all ready to do some walking and talking.
Oh yeah.
I'm really good at that second part.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
ready to
yes.
walk.
Puzzle.
Ah, I took a walk.
Talk.
This looks like a warm-up puzzle.
I think that we can turn up people. We can find a way to turn
Oh.
up individual audio.
No, there's no way to crank up audio. It just said deal with the quiet everything except for the.
You can turn the
That
props
sound that's almost so loud that it's
thing
like-
on disabled, so it's not like super muffled when we walk away.
Turn the what
Oh?
on?
Is that
Oh.
audio
proximity.
Yeah, so if you go into your settings
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and then you go to audio, the noise suppression, disable it instead of having it like suppress our voices a lot.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, okay.
What about inputs?
Sense the high?
Yeah, maybe high.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I have mine at
high.
10% because 50% was wild.
I have the game cranked up so loud that I hear this like, almost like a hissing noise that's just really loud.
Yeah,
you hear
it's
that?
like a little like what are they called?
It sounds like
Not
crickets.
It's like I'm camping.
cicadas.
Yeah, it's
It does
cricket.
sound
like
cricket.
cicada.
Yeah, we call those
Maybe-
crickets in Florida.
Maybe that's part of the
Oh, those
the vibe.
Yeah.
You know, we're
Yeah, like, I'm
camping,
really
we're walking in the
down with this
woods. Oh,
Okay,
yes.
so Chad's
yeah.
saying we should all individually lower our own mics on our stream so that the game is less quiet in comparison.
Oh,
It's kind of
that
not a
might
bad
help.
idea.
I'll do that.
Wait, what?
So will you say that one more time in
Okay.
full explanation one
Why
more
you
time?
coming back?
Wait, actually, no,
Why you
that's so
coming
silly.
back
'Cause
to
then it's
the
gonna lower our
empire?
voice
Yeah. Why you
on
coming
everyone
back?
else's stream.
Why you coming
Yeah,
back?
I wanna-
to someone else?
Wait, if we crank our mics
Thanks
down,
for
everyone
the
else is gonna hear
resub,
lower
yeah.
volumes
Thank
anyway.
you for the resubs. Welcome back for another month.
Okay.
We really can
I'll just really
barely hear
project.
Hi, welcome back, dude.
I like my men how I like my coffee.
Yeah,
Sliding off
perfect.
the roof of my car.
It's cranked.
I'll take
It's
this from you.
No.
90
Oh, but yes,
it's
the audio is
100.
fully
The
up.
game's at 100.
Yeah, mine's at 100
Everything's
as
at
well.
100.
Mine's at 100. Fuck it.
I think everyone else. Okay, I'll turn my mic down a bit so you guys can. so you guys can hear me a bit better in
Why you
comparison
coming
with that.
back? Why you coming back to
Okay,
the
there we go. I'll
empire?
do it like that.
Why you coming back? Why you coming back to the
Oh, more kettlebell, more
Thanks for the
kettlebell.
resub, yeah. Thanks for
Hey, welcome back, dude.
Welcome back.
Dude, they have to add a volume slider.
To learn right now. Drop kick.
Bantho
Wait,
Jr.
how'd you drop kick?
Boom.
Press
Oh, you're
E
reading.
when holding
Right.
an item to raise it over your head. Holding
Ready
an item
for
overhead
this?
for a
It's
few
coming at
seconds
ya.
will lock it in place. Lock it in place. Oh,
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll pass it back to you.
lock it in place.
Yeah, pass it over here.
Oh, it's drop and kick.
I need to
Got it.
join.
Here, Kaylee, catch.
Okay.
Oh, and now I don't have to like.
Ready?
Oh.
Okay, so that was on the ground.
You
Okay,
almost
catch
got
this.
it. You almost got it.
Okay. I have a crazy leg on me, I guess.
Yeah.
2 seconds is definitely more like 5 Mississippi seconds.
Is that as loud for everyone as it is for me?
Oh, wait, definitely.
4,
They
5.
said we'll have the voices
hold it
be
for
around
5
50%,
seconds to be
but
permanently
the
on.
the balls turning on and off will have it be 150% louder.
This is like, it's like our voice is the volume of the show you're watching, and everything else is the volume of the commercials.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna try and trick with this.
Okay. Press Q or E when holding an item to raise it over your head. Holding an item overhead for a few seconds will lock it into place. Tap the button again to release it. Oh, excuse me? Oh wait, is it
Oh
above
my god,
head?
look!
Yeah.
Oh, I can see my shadow.
Oh, of course, that's the first
How
thing
are
you
you doing
wrote.
that? How are you typing?
Press
Oh,
enter.
what?
Oh.
Does it just stay there? Does my high just stay there?
Your height is there. Oh,
Oh.
from a butt. Oh.
What am I doing? What am I doing?
Am I waving? Am I waving?
Fart,
Why does your-
fart, yeah. Hey,
Poop from
hey,
butt?
hey.
Fart? Wait,
Poop from
how are you guys' names?
Nice to meet you, fart. Poop from butt.
Am I waving? Hello, poop
Yeah.
from butt. That Taco Bell virus.
Yeah, the wine is good.
DIY username like over the head.
It's so loud.
So loud, bro.
Holy shit. That's good. Oh my god.
It's just deafeningly loud. Oh, God.
Oh.
Alright,
another
we go
room?
or what? Y'all ready? Oh yeah, okay, sure. Go.
I'm trying to pick you up.
Let's get out of here.
Just rough me up a little bit before we start. Good.
We're supposed to be. We're supposed to be exploring. Whoa!
Oh shit.
Chills. Is this what it looks like to go outside?
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I wish we had like Snapchat right now. It'd be good if we had them all right
I haven't heard anyone say that in maybe 5 years.
Yeah, this needs to be way more parking lots and gas
Some
stations.
parking lot, yeah.
Yeah, where's the Walmart in 2-story parking lot?
Oh, I want to jump off so
You guys
bad.
like that parking lot joke? I wanted to get in
No,
on the
Kaylee,
action.
no.
Oh, it's fine. No, I'm fine. My guy's panting though.
I'm gonna turn on the light. Aw, you okay?
How do you squat? Oh my god, you're squatting like you're actually taking a little poo.
He's just leaving his trail.
See how far I can kick this.
Poop from butt.
Ooh.
Oh my
Let me go
god.
Find a nice tree. Did you guys need this?
It's kind of
Okay, just let me know.
How do I pick you up?
No. Yeah.
If you ever get tired, let me know. There's so many balls.
Oh, a puzzle, a puzzle, a puzzle. There's a color puzzle up ahead.
I found a ball. I know I strayed away, but I found a ball. What was that?
I know they went the other one.
Don't worry, guys. I found another ball.
Okay, I
Oh,
was worried
thank
we were
God.
I was worried we were gonna lose some. I wanna kick this.
All right, that's a flare.
The ambiance of the game is so loud in comparison to the mics. I literally
Wait, there's
can't
a
hear Julian like
mirror.
at all.
Wait, can you take a pic? Let me suck in real quick.
Whoa!
Oh, I do squat weird.
Sorry, please.
Oh, here. Someone try it.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello,
Before we change our
hello.
color of our little guy.
How do I look?
Oh.
I don't know.
I think.
Oh, there's a paintbrush.
Oh. Okay, use that then.
Hold on, let me go green for a
There's a
sec.
big red button over here. I really, really
Oh.
want to press this big red
you paint.
Other.
Oh, you paint each other.
Press it.
Oh,
It's the light.
What color do
It's
you
the
want?
light.
You made me like weird.
That was thrilling.
I know, I don't like it. What do you want to be?
I want to be blue.
Red? You want to be all blue or you want to be red and blue?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
just where we
yeah. Okay.
customize our
Okay.
characters, is that it?
Yeah, looks good.
Thank
Wait,
you.
that's orange.
Sweet.
Ooh.
Is that fun? That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. That's fun.
You look like Spider-Man.
What color should
I don't know.
I
what
Go
to
Bills.
be.
Yeah, that's my goat. That's my spider.
Let me see.
Let me know what color you want, because I think you have to paint each other, and we can't paint
What-
ourselves.
You know, whatever you think will bring out my eyes.
That's
Really.
Okay, I'm
Look, I'm
thinking,
going with her.
Julia,
I trust you.
pink on top,
Yeah.
and then this little pink on the left, the darker pink on the bottom, and then
Okay, do you want to
in
do
the
an ombre?
middle, yes, do an ombre, and then at the very bottom do that purple.
One of you guys has a disease.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
fire.
How do
Yeah,
I look? How do I
that's
look?
fire.
Look at
No,
the
like there's
Oh,
a,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I've never
there's
looked better.
there's a thing.
yeah. I like it.
Bro said one of you is a disease.
There's like a thing around you guys.
Do orange,
Or it's-
white, and pink. Alright, okay, I might need help, Julia.
Oh. Oh, it's the ball. It's their aura.
White in the middle. Okay, then let me see. And then I think it has to be a bit of a lighter pink. Maybe this pink here on my bottom.
Yeah.
What are we
Yeah,
thinking?
oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my
Oh,
god.
yeah, the
lesbian
definitely,
flag for sure.
Oh my,
definitely.
I'm definitely the lesbian pride. There we go.
Ew.
Nice.
That's everything. All right, who wants to
Ooh,
be
Spider-Man.
who wants to be painted?
I want to be
Millionaire.
painted. I
Would you
just
like to be
don't know
painted?
what I want.
I
I
want to be
trust
green,
you.
green.
You want me to hold the
Ball
green?
disease?
That's good.
All green, 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 green. Just like this.
Okay, so which one? Okay, it's that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
You look
I go
incredible.
crazy on edits.
Wow, you look
Oh, wow.
incredible.
A new
Lass, can you
me.
pick something for me? I don't know. Something to bring out
Bro's
my
a
eye
green
good.
screen.
I like, maybe we do an ombre for you. Pink. This. And dark purple on the bottom. What do you think?
Let me take a look.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. That's super cute.
I want.
Side angle. Yep.
What do you want, Julia? Anything you want. Take a look at our wares. Take whatever you'd like. We can give any color on any part of your body.
You could be a
I'm
poop.
gonna
You
go
could
with,
be.
black. Black on the bottom.
Black on the bottom. Love it.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Incredible.
go with brown in the middle.
Brown in the middle. Okay.
And then this one for my face.
Some neutral tones. I
like
really love
that.
it.
Oh, that's so.
You've
Wow,
never-
that's so Julia. That's
That's
actually
You've
so
very
never looked
Julia.
better.
Alright, so Lass, do you need help with the paint?
So I am the lesbian pride flag. So that is
So you're
that's me.
locked the fuck in. W.
I'm locked the hell in. Anthony, anything?
I'm good. I'm good. I got the Spidey
Spider-Man.
You're
colors.
Spider-Man. Did you see the new movie?
I did. I loved it.
Did you love it? Yeah.
I loved it. It was great. Anybody else see it?
Yeah, I was
I
so sad
cried.
Spider-Man died.
What'd you think? Did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. I'm ready to see it again and again and again and again and again.
My chat's spamming. No spoilers.
Our little chai latte.
Spoiler is
Julie, have
we
you
can't
have you
make
seen it yet?
the voice chat louder.
I have not yet. No.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well when you see it, you let me know how you, what you
It's
thought.
crazy how I can instantly tell who
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
is
I'll
now.
DM
This
you.
is actually so cool.
Yeah, I
Yes.
like this.
This is
Yeah.
so fun. I'm getting used to the very weak game audio or player audio. And
That's
honestly, I'm
actually
liking.
training.
I've seen it
how loud
twice.
the
I've seen it
crickets are.
twice.
I like it.
I-
Training because I
I
like
will be
watch
seeing it
TikToks
again.
on full
Me when
blast.
I'm,
This is
me when
good.
I'm going insane and just accepting it.
Me one cricket.
have like a clock. I think we're doing
Oh, it's getting nighttime.
Watch her.
Julia said that this game is reminiscent of Breath of the Wild in some ways. If anyone here played Breath of the Wild,
Mmm.
exploring, little 24-hour clock that goes every 10 minutes or so. I love
I
it.
like that.
Puzzle?
Oh, I see more buttons. I'm excited.
Oh, is this like a detonator bomb?
Push on a. Oh, a
We got a
push.
key.
Ooh.
We got 3, 4
over here.
holes, keyholes. What are these?
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We have to find those things, perhaps?
oh, true.
Can
Tell me
turn
you don't want me to
this key?
stand here and press these
If you
buttons.
press and hold it,
Okay, you're doing great. Lock in. That's perfect.
Oh.
There's another keyhole in here.
Yeah, so what? Do we search for a key? Oh, there's another keyhole up here. Look.
there's a keyhole.
There's a keyhole. Right here, guys.
There's
Look.
multiple. Can we grab the key that's in there?
W
I
Venus.
couldn't grab it. I couldn't grab
W
it.
Venus.
What's up exploring over there? Wait, this is cinema. Look how pretty this is.
There.
Did y'all see the pic I
Crosshair's
just
so
posted
fucking huge,
in
bro.
walkersonly.com?
I want to go swim.
Oh, that's nice.
Go like
That's
a
real
What?
nice.
Why,
Can
Julia?
we go swimming? Anthony, what?
How do I put you
I don't
down?
like that I can't get off of you.
Can I swim?
What's your power?
Nice to see Graves find
I am a pink mermaid. I'm thinking of a color. What is it?
7.
Brown.
Correct.
Oh my god, wait.
Water's getting
I
kind
think
of
we've
high.
reached the edge.
I know. I'm getting scared. It's probably high tide.
Oh no.
I need it to be louder.
Thank you.
Alright, I stay calm. We all stay calm.
Okay, I feel like it's taking us longer to go back. It's dark. We have to watch out
Is it
for
what?
rip currents. If you guys get caught in a rip current, make sure to swim sideways. That's the niche tech.
Oh, it's dark as shit outside.
I know it is
It
really
got
dark.
real dark. It just got real dark. Not gonna lie
Should I go
about
back
that.
and grab a lamp?
Are there lamps?
I found a key hole. Oh man, I gotta tell him. Oh no.
Whoa!
I found it and it's big. It's like a big key thing and there's like a ledge with like a jump area.
Oh my
Sorry, I
god.
couldn't hear you over the crickets. What?
Aw, we all have our balls.
Where's the?
Where is it at?
Where are you?
It's near the water.
Okay. I'm gonna take a big walk over there. I did the thing, name of the game. Big walk.
She said the thing.
Never take your ball for granted.
Are there enemies in this game? I can't imagine.
I
So,
think
right?
the sounds are.
The enemies.
Ah, correct. Us versus the ambiance. Mr. Balls.
Yes?
Are you Mr. Balls?
Yeah. Okay. Now we can see
Oh.
the
Oh, what
another
the?
rocket.
A rocket went off.
Julia's over there.
Wow.
Over
Oh.
there?
It's truly
Yeah,
beautiful.
you wanna go?
Should we go over there? Are they calling to us?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe
we
Julian's
should
hurt
take a
again.
sign.
I know.
Oh,
Oh, my
no.
god. Anthony, we have to go.
We're coming.
If Julian's dead on my birthday, I swear to God.
Julian, we saw
Julian's
your
dead.
message. Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you
I'm
okay?
back, I'm back. Sorry, I went back for another ball, but only to realize that we had all.
So who-
Okay.
So Julia fired flare.
Yeah. Was the firework just for fun?
Where? No, bro. I was me letting you know that I was on my way. I was good.
Oh, okay.
Also, would help me see everything a lot better too.
There's
Oh,
there's the ledge over here with like a big thing.
All right, Anthony, I'm coming. There's a ledge over here. All right, Spider-Man.
And that's all I got for you. There's just giant key.
Oh.
And we open.
I'm locked in the ledge here.
We need a key to go into there, and then the ledge will come down.
We can't grab the one we have, right?
The
Keyhole.
maybe there is a way to grab it.
We do like the Home Depot thing and like duplicate it.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah, we can take it
please.
to the store.
Oh wait, do we like all like hold a button?
Should we all hold a button and see? Julian, we need you in your arms.
Yeah, what happened to her? Oh, she's the.
Maybe I can do. I have a second.
Wait,
no, I can't do a
Julian!
second.
I don't know where she at.
Here, wait, come over here and press one of these buttons.
Okay. Look.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, now we need her.
Yes.
You know that we can definitely do things together. That's what that shows.
Okay, so it does nothing. All right, I think you guys, it's time we go on a
we
bit of a
went there.
walk.
Let's take a walk.
I think we have to take a walk up here. Another keyhole over here. Interesting. All we have are keyholes, yet no keys. Interesting predicament we're in. Interesting. Why can't you take the key out? I don't know. The key does not want to be budged.
If I'm a key laying in the middle of forest, where would I be? Oh, dead end.
What is Julia?
We lost?
Anthony.
Hello.
I'm
Oh, what's this? Oh, it points to something over there. Son, did you see that?
Whoa, what's this?
See what? Sun.
Yeah, watch. I pressed the thing. There's a red light over there.
Whoa. Wow.
Do you hear the echo? Echo!
Holy
I
shit.
do hear it.
Oh my god! It's my
Oh, this is so
birthday.
immersive.
So
No
they're
fall
saying that we
damage
might
either.
we might have to put the balls inside of those little keyhole thingies at the bottom. And then it will
Oh.
unlock the key. That's the thought.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Anthony?
Great, Spider-Man. Great.
Great. Everyone hates Spider-Man now.
Oh, we can't climb like the other game, bro. How do we get up?
Like the other game. The untitled part, like competitor. All right, let's try it. So you're saying to put the balls on here? Yeah, like, oh, this happens when you open one.
That's way too big, bro. That ain't gonna fit.
This is a perfect game for me to try out, like, that help sound again.
I know it's gonna. There's gonna be something similar. I feel. Oh, what's up there? You see that like?
Oh,
square?
the purple, yeah.
Yeah, you wanna go investigate?
Yeah, let's go, let's go.
Why you coming back? Why you coming back?
Do
to the
hickeys.
empire? Yeah. Why you coming back? Why you coming back to those summers? Thanks for the research, yeah. Thank you for the research.
Oh, can we get up it?
For another month,
Uppies?
for another month. Yeah.
Help.
Me want to climb,
I
like,
feel like we could climb.
me want to climb, like, peak. Oh, we have our
Where to go?
nubs.
This does look like the way. Yeah, we can't do shit.
Oh, so
Whoa!
someone shot a gun.
They're in trouble. They need us, man.
We'll be there in an hour.
Insane.
No, this kind of looks like the Galveston, like, pier. You know, as Spider-Man, I should be able to get there a lot quicker. Yeah.
Nice. You from there? Me too.
What,
that?
Julian, what the fuck was that?
I don't know. It sounded like the ocean burped or yelled.
That sounded like the Cyclops in Odyssey. What was that? Something. Julian, what's if they're gone?
Ben, do you accept and stream together or what? You hit my guys.
Oh, has everyone else in it but me?
Currently?
Yeah.
Yes, but it just happened. It just happened. We're all joining right now.
I got your face on my shirt, so sorry.
That's my goat. I can hear you on both, but that's my goat anyway. W shirt, W shirt.
Oh, wait,
There's a
look at me,
guy.
look at me. Am
Are
I?
you sleeping?
Yeah, I was sleeping because I went idle.
Oh, is that what that is when your screen gets the video?
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering what that is.
Wait, also, wait, look at my nose when I mute.
Oh my God, it gets small.
It gets really small.
You can be like, wait, are they muted? Oh, they're muted. You can visually see. That's so smart.
Yeah.
That's another quality of life that I like. That's that shit I do like. That's that shit I do like.
Where do you think they went? We're stranded. I got this. Help!
What are you laughing at?
Did you not hear it? Hold on, back up. Back up away from me for a second. Just back up. Back up. Help!
Bro, screaming.
Oh, they heard me! They heard me! They heard me! They're right here.
Do you guys see that red door right in front of us? Below it, there is another red thing. And
Oh,
that yellow. You see that yellow thingy? I think we have to go there.
did you hear my
Shall
scream?
we go? I didn't hear you.
That's fine. That's fine.
Hey guys, we're going over here.
Oh. There's the
You
thing that
see?
we. Yeah, they put the. That's the thing we gotta put in that hole.
Stack on top of each other and grab it.
Blender thing.
Yeah.
Everyone stack on top of each other.
Lights up to it.
Okay.
Yes.
Can we stack?
Oh, smart,
How do we do
smart.
that?
Stack.
Stack.
How do we?
We have two
Stack.
stacks. Okay, I'm stacked.
Can I climb? Wait, how did
No,
you
no,
get
I'm
up?
trying to
Or
grab.
do you jump on top of them? Grab the bottom one?
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I think
I grabbed one
everybody
of
just
you.
grabs the bottom person. M1
Okay.
on the
Yes.
bottom person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Grab it.
I'm trying.
I'm scaring.
Oh
It
my
won't let me
God.
grab it.
Go
This
to
is insane in
the,
first
Get me closer.
the left, maybe?
Get me closer. Go to the left a little bit.
Wait, oh, sorry, that's my duty.
There
This
we
way?
go.
I'm staring
Oh, wait,
at
there's a button
the
when you
bottom
press
of
the
Julian's
little
ass.
Press the button first. Yeah.
Where's
Hey,
the
man,
button?
we're all
bottom
staring
of
at the bottom of
somebody's
somebody's
ass.
ass, right? Is that
Somebody's
what we're
ass.
doing?
There's the button.
Oh, that's a fun sound.
Somebody grab it.
I'm jumping off for celebratory.
It's grabbing.
Wait, did we get it?
Is it drop
Wait, it's still up there. Guys, we have to stack to get it.
No, it's dropping for us. Watch this. 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
It's releasing the vice. Look at that.
Nice.
It's like a dog.
All right.
A bunch of dogs.
So one down, like
Let's
4 to
go.
go.
To the little button thingy, and then we'll pop it all in there.
Yeah.
All the little thingies. The thingy, and the button thingy.
Yeah, put the thingy in the light thingy, and the button thingy.
Looks like.
They're all gone.
Oh. So, I'm good. I found a button.
Okay.
I really want to kick it.
Oh, nice. We've logged it. Hey, what's
Oh,
up,
wait.
y'all? Welcome to our camping.
Wait, you
video.
guys, this paintbrush is another button thingy. It has
Really?
an X on it. It has an X on it like the other buttons do.
Ooh, don't hurt
Grab
him
the
now.
paintbrush.
Don't hurt him now.
Or maybe not. Actually, I don't
thi-
know.
I
Actually,
think
guys,
it might be a
listen to me. I think I'm actually.
I think it's an item finder, maybe.
Yes, I believe it. I believe it is an item finder.
That's why.
Anthony,
That's
you're
why.
so smart.
No. I thought it was you guys had a disease earlier because it had like pixels around you. So.
You're sick. You're so sick.
Wait, Anthony,
Alright,
did
so-
you read the thing where you can hold Q or E for like 5 seconds and then it'll keep it above your head always? You don't have it like in your face. You have to hold it for like 5 seconds.
Oh, I
And you can see
see.
it move at the top left. And then once it's full, you can run around
Oh.
too without. Yeah, super nice at night.
Big moment for us here. Big moment, big walk.
So, I believe we've gone in like 2 different directions now. Should we
Yeah.
go over, like over
Wait, do
here
you guys see
next?
the blinking? The blinking on the towers?
What blinking?
There's also
Oh my god, I do see
That's
it.
so
like the little like.
I
like
do
the,
see it.
The red blinking lights over there. Maybe that's
There-
what it is where the little.
there's
books
also
are,
a
little
landing
blinking
PAD over here with like a locations like spotter thingy.
Why'd you spell
Oh.
out pad? Oh.
Here, Keely.
Why'd you spell out pad? Landing pad? It's honestly spelling out words for no reason is sinister actually.
Why,
I do
bro?
that with my
Get on
dog, though,
get on that
TRE.
Scrabble.
No, I
You
know
know?
it's, but that's not
Oh, how do we get to it?
really just like hey Kaylee, what are you doing? LATER. That's so weird to just spell out.
Trust the process.
LASS house.
Go SLEEP.
No, you're going to
Yes.
LASS house.
I'm going to do a little bit of CRY.
Try.
Nah, just kidding. I'm not.
I have so much SWAG.
Swag.
SIXSEVEN. Ooh.
S. S.
So I have a camera that tells us where items are.
Oh.
So I'll keep it on when we're exploring.
That's what that is.
So if I, it tells you where Anthony found out what it did for us. Oh, what's this cave?
Oh, we're here.
Oh, wait,
This
is
is
this
the
where we
Is this the start?
started?
Oh, is this where we started?
Bro,
Oh,
how
it is.
fucking ominous. That's wild. This is where we started.
I think a little Squid Games, I'm not gonna lie.
Squid Games.
Beautiful.
So ominous. Like, are we the only people ever to exist on this land?
Right, like
Yeah.
what's
I'm
happening?
getting chills.
Like, and who
No, me
set up
too.
the fucking color palette thing? Like, this is creepy.
Literally.
Wait, is the camera showing you like anything like this way? Like,
It's not showing me anything so far, other than what's inside of the little place we came from. You know, like there's like obviously items inside of the place we came from.
Yeah. If
I
we
wonder
find
if
that
one of them
key,
is
we
in
can
there and
open
we're meant
that
to go
lift
back
or
and get
that
it.
gate.
Should we go check, Julia, real quick? I'll come with you.
We're not in a cult, no.
We're not in a cult yet.
True.
I would say probably not. It's all pretty small.
The sound in here makes me feel like my ears are clogged from like swimming.
Ooh. I feel like there's like holes over here that we can all peek through, and I wonder if like getting on the other side of that is like because we haven't really been over there.
Oh, you're right.
You having a breakfast burrito for dinner? That's W.
Right? That's my birthday dinner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we should hug left of the stairs, I think. Oh, daytime.
It is on your head?
What'd you see
Alright,
up
we're
there?
gonna hug over to the left, I think.
Okay.
Go ahead in that direction of that like pointy rock. Lass is munching on her breakfast burrito. We should probably wait for Lass to say that. Oh, Lass is back. Lass, we're gonna
You
see how-
we're at? Nah, come on.
do you see that rock sticking out over there? We're gonna head this way.
Yes, I do. Let's do it.
Ow.
Oopsies.
Congrats, team captain.
Yay, who, me?
Yeah,
Oh no. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I meant. Yeah. You.
I'm a strict
Why you coming back?
Wait, why is
Why
this
you
water?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Why you
Like
coming
what?
back? Why
I mean, that's the hero gig. Guys, it's the hero gig. Whiskey. Whiskey dialogue be on 5%. Wait, speaking of whiskey. Oh, I found a blue house.
Will you turn that on? Oh. Okay. Here.
Okay.
I gotta drop that. There's one over here too.
Triangle.
Okay. What is there a star
Okay.
one that looks like this?
Oh, I have a triangle.
The first one's a triangle.
Triangle.
The second one
Okay.
is like 3 little balls stacked on top of each other.
Like a
Yeah,
little
this is what I'm
snowman.
looking at.
Number one's like the third one's like a 6. Looks like
I have a
6.
shoelace.
Got that one. I
Yep,
got
it's that one, Julian. Yep.
Fourth one's squiggly vortex circle thingy.
Oh, I have it.
That's
Squiggly
it,
vortex
Julian.
circle.
Oh,
And the last one is like the letter S.
S.
this?
That would be this one.
Letter.
Anthony, can you take that one off?
Letter S.
Good comms.
Sorry.
Good comms, everyone.
Whoa.
Ooh, I like
Is that
that.
loading?
sound.
Yeah.
Yay, we did it.
Come.
I knew it.
I like how they're just using like a regular vice. Like I have
We
that
did
next
it!
time.
Yeah,
That was
Tess,
so
welcome back.
fun!
You did so good in there.
Thank you. You guys were very good at recognizing what I was saying.
Good job at describing.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. One more now. I hope something epic happens. When we put it in.
While we're over here, just explore more over here, because maybe the fourth one's just like around here. I know it's whole key. Oh shit! I think so. Right, what the hell is
Ooh. Big green.
this? New. I think.
I see one of them.
Oh, there's the fourth one.
Okay, period.
Wait, there's a green structure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what the hell do we do for this?
Okay, I see a lot of buttons everywhere.
Can we just
Oh,
yoink
yeah,
it?
Up here, like.
We just press all the buttons. Oh.
I'm gonna press it, I think. Or wait, Anthony, can you press it? Because I have this.
I can. There's a bunch of them. Let me see. I'm gonna press one over here.
This one.
Wondering if there's some
This
Red. That one lights up
Yeah.
a different color.
this one lights up red like the color.
What about this one?
Oh, this one went
Oh,
yellow.
Yellow. And is there a fourth one on this wall?
I'm wondering.
Oh, it's like timed. Maybe it has to do in order. Do we need to find something that gives the like
oh,
the?
it's time. Oh, okay.
Oh, so do we all need to maybe hit it at the same time, low key, or?
How many are there? Are there 4?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to wait for them.
Do you think we all need to press them like at the same time?
I would. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Let's see it turn red.
But one of them doesn't have like the option to hit it like once you can.
I'm wondering if it's just like an order thing.
I know. I don't know what order.
Okay.
These things up. Yellow.
I wonder if one of them just is green right off the bat. That's yellow.
This one's still red.
No, we have to let print off.
I think there's something up top, maybe? I don't know. At the same time. Yeah, we could turn try and just yank it out of there.
I'm trying to grab it.
Okay, we can try press them all at the same time.
Okay.
But
Okay.
One more person. We need Julian or
We
Laz
do need one
back.
more person,
There's
yeah.
two over here.
Did they head back?
Really fast.
Shit, where did they go? Let me go look real quick.
Chris, I can't hear anyone. But the game's good.
Yellow.
Oh, that's fun and new.
They always slide up yellow. Okay, well I guess.
Wait, can we shoot a flare thingy?
No, we could go back to the rocket and shoot off and let them know.
I'm down.
Okay. Let's do this. I'm gonna break my ankles. Oh man.
I wonder if there's like other like tools you can have to maybe like shout across the map and shit. Because the map seems pretty BIG. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, whatever. Oh, there's walkies? Oh.
You think they'll get the message?
Now they will.
Oh, okay. Where's Julian? Surely they're on the way.
Should-
Surely.
What was that? What was that?
I don't know.
It was like a bear,
It
but
sounded like
like
it came from over here. No. I feel like it came from over here. Oh, there they are.
oh, there they are.
Yay. I'm
Okay, I
ready.
returned the key and I found
Okay.
them. We're ready to go back.
Yay! This one's tough. There's like, I don't know if it's a code or an order thing. I don't know. Oh,
I do not know how to get back.
I shouldn't be leading. I don't know where I'm
We're gonna
going.
make it back. That's all that matters.
Follow Julia.
You're here.
This game's a vibe. Can I say that? Is that allowed? Or
This game's a what?
a vibe?
Mm-hmm. I think they needed the boom, the radius, probably. But I'm sure they'll figure that all that little stuff out. No map, is there? Maybe I did see. Let's see, HUD. My HUD's on full. Maybe I'm unpolished though.
Okay, I see. And then I'll get the last one.
I pressed.
I have an idea. I have an idea. I have an
Okay,
idea.
this might be
I have an
a-
idea.
Yes.
I have an idea.
Yes.
Julian.
Okay.
Julian, are you listening?
Yes. No.
Come here in the middle. And then when Julian jumps up, everybody press the switch. And you'll see his
Love
light
it.
flicker up.
Love it.
I love that because I get to jump the active.
like
fucking
that.
thing.
Julian, you have a big job here. Do not mess it up.
Big job. Get fucked up. Hold on, guys. I gotta go get
Okay.
I'll get it later.
We just have to guess when you jump.
Okay,
Are
I'll
you
watch
ready?
your iPhone.
Yep.
It's when I land is when you press it, right?
Yeah, we'll do it when you land.
Oh, what?
Sorry, a little delayed there. Got to do my one job.
I like the confetti. The confetti is one of my favorite parts.
It makes it worth it. It's all worth it.
Immediate serotonin boost.
Anthony, you want it?
We got it. W.
We got it. Back to the beach. And then the confetti.
Can't see, but
Julie, how'd you figure that
I've
out?
got good intentions.
What?
What made you think of that?
Well, there was switches, and sometimes it went yellow, and sometimes if it wasn't near any others getting switched on, it was like
shit,
red.
it's
So I was
a
like, okay, it's
puzzle
probably
game.
all at the same
Shit
time.
like that.
Yeah. And then I figured because it's hard to hear each other, we might as well just have one person in the middle jump and we all.
No, she's like an absolute gamer. So satisfying. That's like, yeah, just drop kicking items into the air.
I like how we're one of like the first people playing this game though.
Oh yeah, because it just came out today, right?
Because it'll only
Yeah,
get better
like
and better. Because
600 positive reviews.
we, honestly, me and Kaylee were one of the first people to play Mecha Chameleon. Like, hour it came out. And the game got better and better and better. Like the following days after, I can't wait to see like what type of changes they make from here. Because it's always like a sort of a trial, you know. You're good at finding
Give me the ball. Wait. No, it's fine.
No, what? You gotta fill me in on what was that?
What?
You just said it's fine, but what was it? What did you? What was it?
Oh, I was wanting you to carry me.
How do I do it again? Last one. Come here. Get up here. Get up here. Come on now. It's Rocket League. It's Rocket League.
Uppies, uppies.
It's Rocket League. It's Rocket League. It's Rocket League.
I wanted to wait for the boys. Are you ready? Oh,
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, we're here.
We're ready.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
The king!
Yay! It unlocks so many adventures.
Oh, it popped out like a birthday cake.
Oh yeah.
It did!
crap. Wait, okay,
We
I
can
know
go put it
there's
over
one
here
place
now,
we
get
can
across
use it.
the
Yeah, we
over
have
here.
to. We have to.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Bridge.
And thank you for the gifted, love you.
We're collecting Kongs.
Birthday cake, you want to put it in?
Oh yeah, birthday girl,
Wait.
put it in.
That
Oh my
key
God,
that
you
low
said
key,
Juliet.
I don't
My
have the
bad,
birthday girl
sorry.
with that low key. That key doesn't look like it's gonna fit.
This key does not fit.
Wait, party pooper vibes.
The
That
groove, the
doesn't fit.
groove.
Wait, that actually
Okay,
sucks.
idea. What if it goes in the keyhole next to the buttons?
So we need a master key.
Keyhole, I think on the beach. It's a key to lead
There's
to
one
other
right
keys.
here too.
Yeah, one right here, right here.
Yeah, maybe it's.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, what the hell is this?
Oh!
What the fuck is that?
Oh,
That's
it
exactly
shaves
what
it
is.
down.
It's carving it. Oh, it only carved one little.
Whoa!
Oh, we
it's
have
a
to
key
check out all the
machine?
carving locations.
Oh.
Oh my God, that's so fun.
Wait, so
That's
wait,
cool, we're customizing our key. Tour.
Wow.
so we have to do it to every one of them?
Yep, we have to find all these and keep getting it shaken
That is
out.
a really cool mechanic. Wow, I've never seen
Okay, there's one right down here too on this on the.
Wait, this is so fun.
Anthony, you are the designated key holder.
The key.
Do protect
Wow.
this key with your life, Anthony.
Oh, hold
What?
on. I got it.
Protect this key with your
He's
life.
taking
Taking
it
away
away.
the beach.
Wait, no, I got it. I got it.
Anthony, over here. Anthony, over here. Over here first.
I've got a key.
I've got a key.
Oh, I've got a key. He throws it towards the ocean.
Key makers over here.
Wow.
It's exciting.
Oh, and then it points to the next location.
Guys, this is the key. Thank you.
Get this girl on SNL.
The key is.
Screenshot.
Us laughing. Oh, this is the key. Get it? K-I? Like laughing? That's hilarious. Like key.
Oh.
Like a little laugh.
And up next, musical guest
I will-
Olivia
I will
Rodrigo.
remember the non-laughers. You will rue the day. All right. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't explode.
I didn't think it was gonna explode until you said that. Now I'm afraid it's gonna explode.
fuck now. Same.
Like now I feel like it's gonna explode.
I didn't even know I needed to be afraid of that.
Oh, it wants us to go back now.
Yeah, now we can go back.
Okay.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Wait. Last, you take it.
Last one there smells bad.
Oh, thank you. I have a key. K-E-Y. Girl, bye-bye. Oops, we're okay, there we go.
Oh, it keyed. It keyed.
Yes.
Julian, unlock something cool.
Do it again. No, do it again.
Take it out.
Anything without you guys ever again.
Good.
Oh, no.
As you should.
Good.
Goblin
You've
Gooch,
learned
thanks
your
for the
lesson.
follow. I feel left out. Help! Guys! Please! Someone! Making sure no one in the office hears me. Music! Oh my god, music!
It's always good to take a break.
Wait, dude, the OST rips!
Take a look.
Is that a radio?
No, there's a gas can, but it's just playing music here.
Whoa! Okay. Wait, who composed this shit?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
This is actually a really
Yeah.
good beat. I'm just gonna take a seat. I'm just gonna take it all in, really.
I-
You can take a seat. Wait, no, it's BRB spot actually. Can I go grab my food?
Yeah.
Great genius idea. We sit down when we have to be our
All right, Anthony, break it down for us. Do a little
Break down,
dance.
man.
Anthony,
Show us
just
the
flex and break it.
song.
Hey, baby.
Hey, hey, okay.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Oh, shit, he's going back
yeah.
down. He's going back down. He's sitting down. He sat down.
Holy shit, it's insane. When he
I
hits
feel
you
like
with
the-
that left arm raise. Oh.
That was crazy in person.
Y'all are gonna see that on the internet.
like one person is like clapping on 1 and 3, and the other everyone's like clapping on 2 and 4, like at a concert.
We're all on different beats. We're chasing the beat.
Oh, it's a flashlight!
What if you shine the flashlight on? Oh wait, I don't know what we're doing. Honestly, I'm like thinking like a
usually it's
puzzle.
BRB.
Like shine the light on the light.
Yo, this is how
Alright,
I
this-
look when I enter the function 5 minutes into me being in the function.
Wait, that looks like you're
Bro,
at the function
Julian
after
showed up
5
at the
minutes.
party and all he did was crisscross applesauce the whole time.
Flashlight.
He was just shining in everyone's face.
She's sleeping. Her eyes are closed.
Oh yeah, when you idle for too long, your character falls asleep.
Oh my
I
god.
like
She's
to think about
eepy. I
these
can put her on my
things
shoulders
through.
though. Not so sleepy now. Not so sleepy now, Julia.
Yeah.
I put her on my shoulders. What if? I'll just You know what? I'll show her around the views. So over here.
Her chat's like, oh, we
Is
get a
the
break
view-
from the movement when we're AFK. Nope. Nope.
Yeah, no one's AFK at all. Oh my god, I'm on your shoulders. Hello?
Wait, Julian, wait here.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. So Julia, this is where we all sit and have a really good time together.
Dude, a heart to heart here would go crazy.
Yeah, go ahead, take a seat, girl.
A
Take a
heart-to-heart
seat.
here would be nuts. At
I'm like
sunset,
moving
bro.
her dead body around.
I
Yeah,
really
what's your
wanna
guys'
go.
biggest fear in life?
Failure!
Mine's abandonment.
I am afraid of spiders.
Oh, I hate spiders!
Sorry.
Gluten.
I hate gluten. Man's
Scared of
biggest enemy.
I'm-
or just Julian's.
So insurance.
I don't like
So, yeah, back
spiders
to
either.
insurance.
Back to insurance.
Wait, so hold on. What's the hate on spiders?
It's just, okay, here's my thing with them.
Spiders is. Yep.
No, you go,
We're
you
both
go, you go.
listening. Just keep on
Yeah,
telling
I'm
us. We're both
listening.
listening.
I know I picture up like a circus animal, but I'm listening.
Just tell us what you're thinking.
Just what's on your mind, man. Come on.
No, it's just like it's like I didn't invite them, you know? It's just like it's like oh, like oh, now they're in my room.
Exactly.
Invite them. Like, why do they need an invite, bro? They were here before us.
Exactly. They're to your left. They're to your right. They're to your left. They're to your right. They're to your left. They're to your right. And suddenly they're all around. You can't figure out why
oh
they're
my
there.
God, to your left and to your right, you're painting such a picture. This is crazy. Okay,
How do I
wait.
hate spiders
Hold on.
but
What's
like
your-
Spider-Man? It's different. If I'm gonna get bit by a spider, I better at least get
water's
powers. Otherwise, it's like what the fuck.
So
Okay, but,
true.
like, what if you're not getting anything from the spider? Can we still like love it?
No, man, I'm good.
Well, Maya Higa said best.
No, it's
Every
true.
time I
It's
kill a
true.
bug or I think about killing a bug, Maya Higa's face pops into my head and I go, wait, what am I doing? Stop,
Yep.
this is not you.
We all need to have a Maya Higa in our head telling us not to do that.
Literally.
Okay, but tell me why Bandit's an arachnophobe and when he was at my house, I turned on a movie about a spider. Literally
Oh,
about
that's
a
right.
spider.
That's right.
What was it, Charlotte's Web?
Yeah, Charlotte's Web.
No,
Does that
it's
scare you?
okay. It's a really good movie. It's called Spaceman. It's dark and it's not funny, but it's like a
Oh.
it's a pretty.
You said
interesting
Space
movie, but-
Jam?
Man, Spaceman.
Oh, I'm like, I've seen Space Jam. What do you mean? He's like, oh, it's like a not a well-known movie at all, you know?
Everybody get up.
LeBron
Falling off
James.
once. Look at this.
No, you're sturdy up there.
Yeah, you're sturdy
Sturt,
dog up there.
yeah, sturdy dog.
It's like, oh, I watched a movie last night. You probably haven't seen it. It's called Interstellar. You ever heard of it? Oh yeah, girl.
Slow indie film.
Oh, unknown devs, and you know,
Oh my God, Julia's sleeping.
dude, she's so tired.
You can't get up. Yeah. I hear you. Where'd she go? Is this like a spot or do we just know it?
Wait, Ghost Story's about to go crazy here. Oh, we can see the Julia there. We have a guest star. Dude, JD Vance would hate this game. Hate this game. I feel like he would hate it.
This music is sick. I like the music.
I wanna
It's
do
like
hand
I gotta say,
puppets.
guys, I figured out the formula. It's been here in front of us the whole time. I know how to cure cancer now. I've discovered the cure. That's amazing. It's so beautiful. It feels like so whimsical and discovery and beautiful.
And you discovered it like just doing drugs out here with your friends, like that. Not even in the lab.
Yeah.
Just the lab.
Dude, yeah, just doing shrooms in the woods with your friends. Like, guys, I don't want to alarm you, but I think I know the meaning to life.
I kind of just clocked it all in my head. Okay.
I happened upon it.
Julia's still asleep. She missed like a whole spiritual journey just now.
Literally. You missed our rebirth.
We had a ego death, all of us.
Wait, who am I?
If you don't fucking stop DMing me the Disclosure Day preview, bro, I'm gonna lose my mind. Has anyone else been assaulted by that movie?
What is it? Not yet.
Has anyone else's time and life been assaulted by Disclosure Day?
Oh no. Now you're making me want to watch
Don't
it.
watch it. No,
Is-
don't. Promise.
Every
Is
day you say
Disclosure
it's bad, I
Day?
want to watch it even more.
Yeah, no, but don't. Wait,
No,
what's wrong?
here's a description of it. It's like it's like going to the grocery store.
Yes,
And-
yes.
Oh, you would? Alright, new movie night.
Anthony, what'd you say? Sorry, Anthony, I interrupted you.
Disclosure Day is a Steven Spielberg movie, but it's like going to the grocery store and like going to self checkout and with all your groceries, and then everything gets scanned 3 times the amount, and then you get home and all your items that you bought were all just powder, and so nothing that you bought was actually real. So like all like your meats, your foods were actually just powder.
Disintegrates in front
Yeah,
of
just
you.
disintegrates
It
in front of you.
falls through your fingertips.
Hold on.
And so now you went to
I'm
the grocery
almost
store for
falling.
nothing.
Dang, I
That's-
hate when
You know
that
what's weird
happens,
is-
too.
When I go on Letterboxd, that's exactly the explanation. It says when you go to the grocery store.
Yes,
I'm like,
yeah.
Holy shit.
Yo, look at my letterbox review of it when you have a second. It's important.
Kaylee has some of the best Letterboxd reviews ever. It kind of went like
Wait.
viral in our chat. They're so hilarious.
Is it just your same name as it is on Twitch?
Yeah, same
Yes.
Okay.
My favorite one is the Lorax, and it's just chills. Period.
5-star.
that one.
It's a 5-star movie, by the way.
And then she reviewed it again like a couple of months later. And reviewed
Bro, I
it
love
again.
re-reviewing movies.
I love
It's
that
so
movie.
good.
Movies. It's so good. One of
I
our friends,
know.
Chris, does that with
Flubber, he gives Flubber a 2-star rating every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Just making sure it's still on 2 stars.
Yeah, just
I do
reminding
see
y'all.
the Disclosure Day.
Yeah, so that'll be a good one for the stage, the old Discord stage, I think. You can all just experience the pain together.
Have you all seen World of the
Craziest part
Worlds?
about it is, like, the
Grapple.
genuine high expectations that you had going into it, or some people did, like me. I was
This is a
locked in.
Spielberg film, of course.
Yeah, it's a Spielberg alien film. You're like, oh my god, in 2026, bro, we got a new ET. But, bro, oh my god.
Well, if you need something good to watch, The Lorax, I don't know if you've heard it, it's great. 5 stars. I've seen it multiple
Alright, I'll watch
times.
it. I'll watch
My
it.
rating never changes.
10 stars out of 10.
Yeah, Swaggy.
Alright,
I
well,
do
this
love them.
has just been like a chill
Wait,
spot,
live
bro.
action Lorax or animated
This
Lorax?
is so nice.
Animated.
There's a
Animated.
live
I didn't even know there was a live action.
I assume there's a live action. That's my only thing. I assume.
And it's Danny DeVito actually playing the Lorax. Doesn't he voice it too? They throw him in there. That's amazing.
My karaoke song.
Oh my, the Lorax? Which one? Let it.
How bad can I be? You familiar? I
Actual
could keep going.
bars.
I'm just
Oh, I'm familiar,
Bars,
alright.
bars.
Literally, when they wrote that in the studio, they knew they were cooking up some heat. They said,
They
just
did.
wait when this drops.
Oh, that son of
that's
ours
too
is
funny.
rising.
Our son.
Are you a winded son? You sound like a memory. Okay. I'm ready. Big walk takes a big walk.
This might be just like a sitting spot.
Yeah, I think so. It's like this.
Do we want to go back on the red brick road?
Sitting spot.
Yeah.
I think we have to. Julia.
That was nice though.
That was more of a. Yeah, that was like a very
like a
beautiful
vibe spot.
sitting spot. Yeah. Yeah,
I like
just
that
a
it's built
vibe.
in. Like, that's all we were
They
supposed
say,
to do.
yeah. During your trail, you might find various vibe spots. I love that.
You can just carry someone, bro.
Oh
I know,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
good.
I feel like
You're
I lose
"Oh, wait,
aura
gotta
every
do-
time I
gotta
get
hurry up, will you
carried.
carry me?
You feel like what when you get carried?
I feel like I just lose a little aura every time. What is this?
Nick Jonas is playing the
It is
On
the
Claire.
video
Are you
loss,
kidding me?
actually, when you get
On
picked
Cellar.
up.
Music notes. Wait.
Oh god.
Wait. Do they change based on?
Yeah.
Oh, Narnia?
I don't remember.
Oh my god.
Oh. Wait.
Okay, so we definitely have to go and find out which one that matches.
Oh,
Yeah.
frequency, nice.
Oh.
Should it be with the ones over there?
Oh, should we
What
go
is
back
this?
over there or something? Is that what it means?
They have different speakers, so maybe.
Yeah, that one sounds like.
Can we bring that with us?
Yeah.
Should we?
We want to take the flashlight.
I'll take it.
Do we need to measure it over there?
I don't know. You're good with like music and stuff, Anthony. You could like.
I know. I'm really digging the OST so far. Not to be that freak idiot, but like, you know what I mean?
No, I'm a freak idiot for an OST as well. I like.
Wait, Joey, there was, I won't say where it is, but there's one particular score in the new movie where that's very La La Land.
Uh-huh.
I think you'll like.
Okay. Noted.
Mm-hmm. Nothing really happens. Dude, imagine like Breaking Bad news like over this music. Like this is a crazy like.
They do all sound different.
Wait, they do? Oh. Oh.
You feeling it?
I don't know where it went.
Oh, you lost it.
Oh, I got it.
What does the radio do?
I think it just like played to that speaker that we went past, and that was it.
Oh.
It only lights up. You want to look at it?
Yes. Oops, just dropped it. Amazing.
What'd you drop?
Let me go back.
Miles, thank you, dude. Guys, keep it together, will ya?
Yeah, what happened to
Oh my God, Julian, it is kind of giving Project Hail Mary score. Like the beginning of the movie.
Someone said that much. It's very similar.
Like,
It's very similar.
Like, okay, it does. Like when he's building the box in a box.
Yes, yes, yes.
Box in a box.
And then
Mhm.
also when him and Rocky are doing shit.
Yes, when like the experimentation type stuff.
Yeah.
That was my 2026 version of ET. Is that crazy?
Yes. Honestly, yes,
Well,
100%.
If you were thinking for like, what, on a real net, what Disclosure Day you would think what Spielberg would do for an alien movie,
The height of the
that's what
speakers match
you
the
would want,
remote?
you know?
Literally, like really is the 2026 evolved version of ET.
Yeah. Where did the Washington one go? Oh, they're over there.
Line it up with like the music playing over here at the same time, because like the music that plays over here is like a song and it lasts a few minutes and then it switches. So maybe we have to like match the song or something and run back. That's my guess.
I held it up to the Thinny Mick quote jig, but like it didn't do anything from what. Wait, are you cooking?
I got to look at it. Yeah.
What do you hear?
Okay, so I had some ideas.
Okay.
The first one is maybe the height of the speakers corresponds with certain something.
Okay.
And then I thought, okay, I'll go to the highest speaker on this radio, but that didn't do anything either.
And last, can you interact with the thing? And, like, does it change anything?
Yeah. So here, look, take a look at it. What you can do is you can change the line on it to have it be on a certain speaker.
Yeah, wait, should we line it up?
Yeah, there's like no way to turn the music down, guys. I fear.
Oh.
I know. If we turn the music down, we turn our voice down.
Exactly.
Was that the end of that bridge?
Yeah. It's a quick minute.
I'm gonna take a look see at it real quick.
Oh, good. Trying at the one slur. The burrito is good. It's delicious. It's a breakfast burrito.
That is weird. I don't know.
Yeah, does it listen to your voice or anything? Like, is it...
Hello.
Changes.
No.
Looks like a
Good idea. Oh, wait, hold it up.
walkie-talkie
Hold it
almost,
up. Can you hold
Hello.
but Anything change?
No. Hello? No.
And you want to know something? It might be for the next part. Like, this is just a sweet little music waiting
Yeah,
area.
maybe.
Yeah,
We'll
maybe
just
we
keep
should-
going.
Spot.
Should we? Yeah, we
Okay.
can keep following it.
Down with that. Oh no.
Oh no.
I got you.
Thank you.
Until your ankles aren't broken anymore.
Yeah, he's just crisscross applesauce now. Did you ever look up during Heads Up 7 Up?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Do I give that vibe? Cause like.
No,
low-key,
I'm just asking.
I kept my eyes open shamelessly during Heads Up 7 Up. I would make sure like my head's kind of peeking off the desk a little bit. I would see the shoes.
I would do the other thing, which was what like I would like just like say I got like tapped on the head, even though I clearly didn't. Like, and so there's like that huge miscommunication.
You wanted to be involved so bad.
I just want to be involved.
There's a whole valley to explore. If you
You
guys
should
want
be
to go.
involved.
It's
A
really cool.
valley.
It's a vibe. It's
Let's
a
do
vibe.
it.
I'm gonna leave this flashlight here though. This is the most I've ever felt like I was camping
Only
with friends
chilled
while playing a
behavior.
video game. We're just vibing. Alright, so I'm gonna take this light to the valley.
Have you, Julian, do you know that the whole hold keyword E for 5 seconds and then it won't be...
Yeah.
In front of your
Really
face.
nice of you.
No.
Wait, maybe this thing is like the in-game version of Radio Shack. Like it's just like this like little thing that plays music.
It's just for vibes.
The flashlight fell off the ramp. We'll have to grab it if we would like to use it. It somehow fell off. I don't know how.
Oh man.
Super super weird. Butterfingers. You know?
Luckily, there's 80 of these bulbs around the map.
80 balls. Balls but no vag. What a travesty.
What, what are the devs thinking?
I'm absolutely devastated.
You just seen their patch updates, and for 1.1, they just change everything.
They changed the balls to be called vag.
Yeah, 1.1, we've changed a few things with the quote balls. Oh!
Whoa!
Well, that one's going around crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Holes in the wall over here are like the starting area.
Oh, oh yeah, so this was the other side you were wanting to go to, Julia. Julia, this is the other side.
Oh, I can make a note.
If you're heading out alone, consider leaving a note. What?
Wait, okay, well, shortcut to get back to the other space now, I guess. Oh my god, the sound design is sick.
What the hell?
It won't write. Oh, this is okay.
Oh, okay, does it work over here? No?
Like, what is this supposed to be? Is it supposed to be a megaphone? Hello? Can everyone hear me?
Oh, wait,
The-
yeah.
Is that doing something? Oh, I wonder if we... Test.
Nothing's different.
I wonder if we get radios later on, and this could be like is like a universal the comm to everyone.
Maybe it does look very walkie-talkie.
Two people love
What
each
a
other
mommy
very
and a
much.
daddy.
What were we talking birds and bees? Oh, where did babies come from? Julian, I'll let you answer that one.
Wait, Julian. What?
Silent film.
It's a silent film.
Wait, that actually. Hold up. I'm locked in now.
How do I sit? Aww. It's. Oh. Wow. It's almost like she's really talking to us.
How do I flip the sign around?
Think you hold E to put on your head, I think? Yep.
And that's what we're talking about. And that's literally what we're talking about. Good comms.
Wow.
I was just thinking that too.
Oops.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Julia wrote a book?
Aww.
Once upon a time, there were 5 friends who went on a camping trip together and decided to explore the wilderness together.
To get what? We'll never
Yeah,
know.
what? I have to know what happens next.
The more
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Chills,
Ew.
chills, little chills.
I was just thinking that. Okay, nah.
Once upon a time, there were 5 friends who went on a camping trip together and decided to explore the wilderness together.
Yeah, Julia, if you wrote that, I was wholesome as fuck. I ban you.
So I think maybe we get radios later, and this is like the way to communicate, or you think it communicates with the thing we have?
Oh, whoa. Oh.
What the hell?
What? Did that
Who
actually
wrote
happen?
that?
Is that
Who
gonna happen?
wrote that? That's not gonna happen.
Back, what happened to that light? It's gone.
Guys,
Oh.
Big cave.
What would you do when you... Okay, so he said... yes.
Nice.
S.
That's good. Are we not allowed to touch Julia's side because it's also...
Absolutely.
How do I drop it?
I'm sorry.
No, you can touch it. You can touch it. Who am I? The mayor of the signs? I don't know.
Oh,
my
there
God,
we go.
Congratulations, Mayor. This is your first day in office.
Thank you.
Oh, shout out Big Boy Benny.
But we do have a shortcut now. Remember, like through the
Wait, can you not go in that thingy? Yeah, I'm gonna take some time before election day, like before the midterms, and like just totally. Oh wait, yo, any Michigan results? Oh wow, Abdul barely has a lead right now. Holy shit.
Now, what is this all about? I feel like, then why would there be this whole arena for this?
What are you thinking?
I'm trying to think if there's like something where we all need to like set this off at the same time, but I feel like this is just for us to tell people where we are.
What's that door over there do?
There's a key we need to find. It's another type of key thing. It'll only open when we have a key.
Oh, do we want to go up here, like this way, Julia? I mean, not now, but like there's a huge ramp.
Yeah, we should go there next. Let's see if there's anything here.
That CB, like that radio comm must mean something.
That's what I'm thinking.
There's definitely there's definitely like radios you can make at some point.
Yeah. Where did
Julia, I'm gonna make some real quick.
Okay. Is that ramen?
Who got ramen?
Anthony. Instant ramen.
Oh, nice. That's quick.
Okay. While he's making instant ramen, let's go.
Don't worry, I'll light the way.
Holy shit, thank you. I couldn't see before.
I'm back. I didn't want you guys to get mad at me for making ramen, so I made pizza rolls.
Tailoring your dinner to your friends' happiness who aren't even in the same zip is crazy.
Bro, I literally leave for like 5, 6, 7 minutes to go get my dinner.
You said this. You said that third. You said
Is
the
this
third
the
number on
walk with
purpose.
Good vibes.
You could have said 5 or 6 minutes.
Oh, sometimes it's 7.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Hey, Julia, just admit it, man. Farming's fun. It's good for the environment.
It's fun.
Didn't even do that.
I can't fit through the door. Oh, Meridian! Sorry. I'm just. Let me just. Sorry, welcome back.
If you guys look over here, yeah, Julia's over here. There's more puzzles.
Holy fuck.
Oh, the urge to jump off is so strong.
I know. I was wanting to.
This is President Lass. Bring our boys home.
Doesn't that look like a train system down there on the blue?
It does look like a train. It for sure does.
Oh my god.
It could also be like a really long bendy straw.
Like a roller coaster.
So true. And honestly, we should keep all options open because that could be true. We slurp a giant drink through the straw.
Yep.
We all get extremely hydrated.
Yep.
Stay hydrated.
Maybe it's draining the ocean and it's a straw going into the water.
Oh my god, we drink up the ocean. All the keys are in the bottom of the ocean.
We find the treasure. We go home. We bring the boys home.
We bring the boys home.
Oh, what's this can of whoop ass
They have one
do?
of these things down here. They have one of these things down here as well.
Ooh, put that
Oh.
plane, I dare you.
Oh, so we can communicate back
the
there.
Other one, yes, I believe we might have to do something regarding that then.
Whoa. Whoa, Julia. God.
Whoa, what the heck? Who did that?
Is that a fucking laser pointer?
Yeah, it says be careful, but why?
I don't know.
You should point it in your eyes and end on a plane.
Yeah, shoot me with it.
Helicopter.
Maybe just throwing it in your eye.
I wonder if you guys can communicate with me through this little voice box thing. Should I go try?
Yeah.
Let's go see.
It's just, yep, jump. Jump.
I'm gonna run down.
I have a feeling. Oh no! Hello? Ah!
Oh.
Oh no, they went flying.
What happened?
Really? We didn't need that.
I fucking dropped
Breaker, Breaker 102, this is Big Willie coming at you live down here at the bottom of the hill. Big walk, so they
Big
say.
Willie! Big Willie, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Whoa.
Hello?
Big Willie?
Can you hear us?
Do you hear me?
I do. I hear. I don't. Hello?
Yes.
We have to press it, I
Yes.
think.
Yes, over, I think.
Yes, we hear you. Over.
At the bottom of this hill. Hope you guys are doing incredible.
Big Willie, do you hear us? Big Willie, hello?
Big Willie hears you loud and clear.
Big Willie, we lost the binoculars, just letting you know. We're gonna try to find them.
Oh.
Big Willie, not pleased to hear that you lost the binoculars. However, excited for what's to come when we binoculars.
Oh, so what do we do now that we can talk to each other?
Dude, this must be riveting, like back in the 1930s. This must have been like crazy.
This is the craziest thing.
What do you mean my little box in the room can hear magic voices?
Think that went through?
Big Willie coming at you. Who's farting in the mic? Anyway, we can stop the farts. What's going on?
Yeah, guys, please do not fart in the mic. We're seriously trying to figure out this puzzle up here.
Yeah, that was Julia. Over.
Would appreciate you guys saying out when you're done so I can know you're done. Out. Big Willie out.
Thank you, Big Willie. Over, out, and out. Bye.
Over and out.
TTYO.
Say over. Over's way better. Over's way. Say over.
TTY over. TTY over.
Hey, who did that player? Over.
It was Lil Willie over here. I just got excited over.
Lil Willie.
Big Willie Moggs. Lil Willie over.
Did Julia die?
Yep, got my big old willy stuck on something, and I had to pull my big old willy out to get it unstuck. Over.
Okay, we're gonna come to you. There's not much up here except for the things that we need to put the things in. Over.
You're coming to me. Ask me to dinner first. Over.
Okay, okay.
Bye, Big Willie.
I don't even remember where it was.
What do you think?
Over, is that you?
Oh my god, we could hear her on the little...
How did it hear us?
How did we hear her? What? How did we hear her in my ear?
Don't worry, I have a laser.
Okay, good. I was worried, but I'm not anymore. Do you know where we came from? Wait, there's something. Oh, it's
Florida. Wait, down here, down here.
Okay.
Because I see the light, but not like in a death way. Oh no!
Oh, man.
Oh no, the ball. Are you okay?
I'm coming to get it. I'm coming. Okay, I got it.
Oh, I see someone's weird eye.
Whoa.
Oh, it's
Julian's taking a
him.
nap on the edge of a mountain.
Was he?
Sorry,
You think
take a nap.
he was eavesdropping? I think.
Risky business.
What
Yeah, you look like you're spying.
Was that a radio?
Yeah, I can hear like the radio. I don't know how. Woohoo! So we gotta find more of those things.
Oh! It like flung out of me.
Oh.
Oh, they're not here. Do you think they got abducted?
Did you get abducted? And can you hear me? Over. This is not good news.
KP,
I
y'all.
see someone over there. Maybe we'll go back.
Goblin Gooch 07. Thank you for the follow. It's twice. No, different Gooch. Different Gooch.
Banthony, my Banthony.
I have a laser. Don't worry.
Oh my god, that laser kills me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, did we go?
What did you
Oh, no, it's
step
fine.
on?
Oh, it's fine. You can totally do it right in my eye.
We do it in my eye.
Perfect.
One or two? One or two? Are they both the same?
Sharp or dull?
Let me see one again. Let me see two again.
I always hate having to repeat that and ask. I'm like, can you? I'm sorry this bothers you, but can you just show me one more time?
They sound so patient. They're like, one?
You hear the pen click, and I'm like, ah, shit, I messed up.
I'll use VIP. Goodbye, baby. Haley, will you grab him?
I'll grab him.
There we go. No friend left behind.
Not on this big
I
wall.
love that, like, when your friends are AFK, like, no worries.
Yeah,
I know, you're just scared. Put you on my shoulders.
1, 2. Eat my freaking food. Oh. Yes, I just said that. What you gonna do? You gonna subscribe? Get the subscribe.
See something over here.
Oh, over here. There's some puzzles.
Yeah, we have like. I see a puzzle, I think.
So we found, so up there is the thing. Remember at the very beginning where we had like the 4 beauty blender looking ass keys and it gave us the big
Yes.
keys?
Oh, there's
I'm bringing up.
another walkie of talkie. Oh.
Oh, that looks a little different.
Oh, yeah,
looks
it's
legit.
I think that goes to the what's it called? The Big Willie shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Big Willie over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you probably can.
Whoa.
I wonder if we all can get one, then we can all.
That would be
Yeah.
cool.
Communicate.
Yeah.
Too. Oh shit. Oh good. Okay. No.
We're going down.
Want me to grab you? Want me to grab you?
What am I holding? I'm holding the flashlight. I'm gonna throw the flashlight up there. Oh,
Did you
shit.
need help?
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, I threw the flashlight. I was stuck, but I am not anymore. I think.
What are we
You're
trying to
stuck
do?
as well now.
Oh
Hop
no.
off, then grab me, and then grab me.
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect.
Yay.
Oh yes.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I love the echo. It's so good.
Oh, your echo. Oh, I heard it.
Drop the laser.
Oh no.
I'm telling you, Anthony, and I mean this wholeheartedly, it's gone. It's fucking
No.
gone. The
What about-
laser's fucking gone.
What about the binoculars and the flashlight?
I would just say, honestly, we hold them in our heart. We understand their presence in our life, but we
There
thank
should-
them for what they've done and that we let them go.
There should be like a Hunger Games, like a cannon boom, like every time we lose an item. You just see in the sky like the
Yes.
binoculars that have fallen.
We can't die, but
Yeah.
our items can. I think we needed that laser though, Loki.
There's gotta be another way to get them.
Fuck, the item that I discarded, I actually
Oh no!
needed very badly.
Wait, no! I thought I lost it, but I did it. Wait, I can hear myself. Wait, why? Can anyone like hear me?
More than
Okay, so
it's right
as
there.
I also threw this thing off, but I've managed to find it.
Ugh, you know what? You have quite the eye. So, if I were a laser that I put down for a second, then it magically disappeared, where would I be?
Yeah, in a sea of gray and green. Where is this other gray canister?
Anybody good at I Spy as a kid? We need your expertise.
If I were a laser, now surely it respawns, right? I see a trail of
It's
evidence.
the top of the mountain. It says the top of the mountain. Okay, I'm checking the top of the mountain. I'll be right back. What's the software about that, though? I'll be right back. Be right back. Anyone see a laser? Yay, hi! Anyone happen to see a laser? They said it's over yonder. Fuck, I did not check there.
Over
I did not
yonder?
check in yonder. Yeah,
Oh no.
I did not check over yonder. It's under yonder.
Indiana Square Hannah. It's pretty good.
Branch. Okay, we're gonna find out.
Oh. Oh, the remember the thing that like the camera that shows items?
Where they are.
That's probably what it's for.
Oh
From
my
when we
guys,
we-
we
found a
have
puzzle.
great news, and we think we know how to execute it, but we need all of them.
Okay, I have bad news.
you
I
first.
lost the laser.
Yeah, that's. I think we're okay.
It's okay.
Camera. It's the flashlight.
I feel like the laser's just like useful.
Oh,
for,
it's
like,
right here!
sensing and stuff, but I don't think it's gonna be.
It's right here.
Oh, the laser's right here.
Oh my god!
Oh.
It's me turn.
Yeah. Oh wow. Wait, that thing goes far.
Oh.
Yeah, can you put it through all three holes?
Where you can't hear something.
Does it do anything if it goes all through all three holes?
Excuse me, Anthony, what did you just say?
Like,
All
can it,
3 holes. Ask me to dinner.
I don't know how else to word it. There's gonna go through all three holes, like equally.
It was. Oh no! No. Julia. Okay. We lost Julia. Maybe I have to go down there and then put it through.
Yeah, maybe just 2 holes instead of. I don't know how to fucking word this.
2 holes.
Oh yeah, maybe you shoot it up instead of down.
You dropped your walkie-talkie.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I definitely did that on purpose.
I didn't mean to fall. I slipped. Oh man.
I found another walkie-talkie.
Oh. Wait, so you can hear me?
Yeah, wait, say that again.
Can you hear me over this? Over?
Over. Willie, over.
Oh my God, we're so bad.
Literally. Hey, I dropped the laser again.
Anyone seen a laser?
No, it was by the blue thing.
I'm coming to get it.
I know it was. I can hear myself.
Hey, I can hear myself through it too.
I wonder why I can hear myself. Maybe it's because you're close to me.
Maybe that's just the big walk.
Holy shit. We're definitely hearing one and the other.
Ow!
It's getting super silly. Over.
Someone once told me the day you plant the seed is not the day you harvest the fruit. Over.
You don't always poo when you pee, but you always pee when you poo.
Wisdom.
I think Aristotle said it best.
Same looks like Firewatch. Is that a
I
sword?
found a puzzle.
Oh my God! We found a puzzle over a green building. You should see 2 people in it. I see your laser pointing everywhere.
Okay, so I have no service in there.
Oh wait, wait. We both have the walkie. I was walking the no one.
No. There's no service in here.
Oh.
So I think you have to use like yes and no.
And maybe our hands. Oh, there's some mini buttons.
There's 4. I think we have to all be here. All right, let's go find. We'll give one of them the walkie.
Yeah. Do you want me to stay here?
Always wipe front to back. Wipe back to front.
That's the Charmin.
The lights in the room correspond to the buttons. Yes, I believe so as well.
Hey, are we walking
walking in circles. Over. We're dead ass walking in circles right now.
I was following you. I don't know where the hell I'm going.
I have already seen this rock about 5 times.
Wait, but what's that big square up there? Like the red thing.
That's where we walked through where it had all the stairs in it.
Oh no.
Kristen, thank you for the 5. Love you.
Kristen W.
Kristen with the 5. W, Kristen.
Guys,
Extremely kind and nice.
insurance fund, guys.
Literally, it is my insurance fund.
For my
It
26,
is.
for my 26 last year, I made Publix like do like a custom cake for me, and it just said RIP insurance on it.
No, I honestly, my parents were like, so what are we gonna do about that? I said, that's a tomorrow issue. Today is my birthday. Like, could not even be asked to even think about it.
Just extend to the end of the year. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Exactly. Okay, so where are these girls? Maybe we should go up to the top and look again.
Man, I wonder if they're singing songs.
They so are. They're having a freaking ball without us. Kristen with the 5. Thank you for the 5. Another 5. Love you. Thank you for the 10 now. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Love you.
That's so devious for a game like this. Reserve. What's up,
I see them over here.
Oh, you see them? Or what are they doing? They singing? Look at them.
Should we go follow them?
Oh yeah,
Off we go.
look
I'm
at
just
them.
gonna run this way.
Ow! Oh! Oh no! I know. Help!
Oh, fuck me.
So when I jumped, I lost my walkie. What about you?
I also lost my walkie, but oh my god, they're right
Oh,
next to each other.
oh
They're
my
right next to each
God!
other. Oh my god, W! Because we're seasoned walkers.
We're on the way, over. Oh no. How you doing? Are you okay over there?
Them over. Anthony, I'm walking towards the.
Yeah, I see them. They're a little bit north from me.
Yeah, I see them over in the north. Over.
I'd be careful. Julian's looking a little weird.
Oh, the big left. Be careful. Over.
You guys.
Oh my god, fuck yeah.
There. Oh my god, nice. There is a green building that we found that needs all 5 of us.
Is it the one that we found earlier?
No. It's a different room that we found.
Hey guys.
Okay. Does someone want to carry Julian?
Me and Anthony have been talking in the walkie-talkies back and forth with each other while we're standing right next to each other for the past, I don't know, 20 minutes. So I think one of you guys should probably have the walkie-talkie.
I'm gonna carry one of the keys. Unless if
I'll
someone
get-
wants to trade
I'll
with
get
Kaylee,
Kaylee.
because we probably
Yeah,
won't get
Kaylee.
Julian with us.
Kaylee, you gotta take
Hello.
this.
I do?
Take that and take the laser.
She's like,
Okay, we're
do I?
going separate ways?
No, well, me and Anthony, we kept on, we were right next to each other using the walkie-talkies the entire time. We kept on
Oh.
following each other. There was a portion at night where we were just walking in circles, following each other, trying to find where you guys were.
We were trying to find you guys.
Wait,
we're
I
trying
see
to
the
find
green
it.
building, by the way.
I'm so
Julia, it's up
sorry.
there.
That's totally
Yeah, that's
my
the one
fault.
we were
I'm
at.
so sorry.
Oh, yeah, we
can
need all
go
4 of
put
us.
Put the
Three or
thing
four
in the
people.
thing. Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah, there
Alright,
is that green puzzle. You mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. With like the
Guys, when
buttons
Julian
and
is
the.
back from his dinner, or maybe he's got his wires picked and just have him go up the hill, and then he'll find us. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna follow
Julian.
you with the laser. Okay,
Julian,
Kaylee,
walk
go
straight.
follow Julia. Go follow Julia.
Yep. Yep.
Cause we have a walkie-talkie and they have a walkie-talkie, and that's how walkie-talkies work.
Okay, actually,
We
we're
should
just
do
gonna leave the
walkie-talkie with
walkie-talkie with
Julian.
him.
One of them.
So that
yeah,
he can
and
just
hopefully
find
he'll
us
think to
that
pick it
way.
up.
Wait, no, you guys take that. We'll stay with Julian.
What's that? What's
We'll have
that?
No,
People do
you
this.
you take the walkie-talkie,
I'm
or
just
you know
gonna
what?
go deliver the key up at the top
Okay.
of the hill.
How about you 3?
Yeah.
All right.
But
I'll
we
be here with
need- we need
Julian.
more than 2 people for
Alright,
the.
he's
Alright,
gonna be
yeah.
back any second.
thing.
He's just grabbing his dinner.
All right, you Anthony, go, and I'll be here with Julian. Cause you have a walkie-talkie. I'll be here. I'll just wait till he's
Be
ready.
careful.
I'll be careful, I promise.
Just checking in over how we do.
Back. Okay. Hey guys.
Oh yeah, how do I get back over here? It felt like we were going
Amazing.
down further.
Yeah, we're doing just fine. Julian's fully asleep, and I'm just watching him hold a glowing ball in his hands. Over.
They're so dead, by the way.
On the line. Anthony, go ahead and say hi to Julian. He's now awake. Over.
Hey, Dum Dum. Hey, welcome back, boy.
He says, okay. He says, okay.
That is the same response that I would have imagined. Thank you. Over.
This is Big Willie and Julian over, and we're about to walk up the frickin' hill and go meet you guys there. That's right, and we'll just follow you guys. Julian has blinded me with the laser in my eyes. I actually have no vision whatsoever. I'm blind, fully blind. Over.
Oh no! Don't! There's. They're right. All good. Over.
Julian's now pointing the laser up at planes in the sky. Over.
I got fascinated with the walkie-talkie and lost the rest of the group. Over.
So, did you lose the group, Anthony? Over.
1,000,000%.
Amazing.
I think getting sponsored by Dasani would be pretty funny. Over. Sorry, that's not important. Over. Like, how do you market that? What the fuck was that?
What was that noise?
It was at the red building structure. It was like an angel sound.
Over.
Oh, it was Lil Willie and then the Julia. Over.
Oh.
We are going to be
Sorry. Oh, we're gonna be making our way to the green structure. Meet us there. It's below the chum bucket.
Julian sucking can't get up the frickin' ledge. Over.
Julian, pull it together. Over.
See their laser.
Oh god, they're way down there.
I know. Should we go meet him by the green thing?
Oh. Yeah, fuck it.
I'm gonna jump. I'm jumping.
Oh.
I lost Julian. Over. He was here in 1 second, then he was gone the next.
Oh no. My brain is like a random word generator. Dude, I can go to bed early if you want me to.
Fuck yeah. Okay, and what happened to last?
Big Willie,
the walkie-talkie?
coming over.
Here, over.
We're all here, over.
There you are.
Turn around, Big Willie. Yes, Big Willie's here.
Oh my god.
Hey guys.
There you are.
I'm here.
Let's everybody come into this room real quick.
Let's do it.
What's gonna happen?
Oh?
Is when the door shuts. Oh. When this door shuts, it goes completely soundproof. We cannot hear you guys out there, vice versa. What's gonna have to happen is the person in here is gonna see which one of these lights up, and then do you see those little switches out there that kind of are in the same shape as these lights are?
Yeah.
The buttons.
Kind of correlate.
We have to click them in order that this lights up, but the person in here has to like basically point, or maybe use a laser pointer. Does a laser go to it?
Laser.
Oh, you're a
Yeah.
genius.
Oh,
I'm not
yes.
even.
Wow. Okay, and we have
So,
to climb
so
to that
who wants
top
to be?
one.
Yeah, we need like probably at least 3 people out there, so someone can hit the button at
I'll
the
go
top.
out.
I'll go out.
Go out. My shoulders, I have to jump. Okay, I know with this one first because last time we did it. Oh. Okay. All right, a little closer. Boom. Good. We're good. And then I pressed that one, no?
Press it again.
Okay. You press. Can you reach it?
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, it's partly lit up.
Did it work? Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then that one.
What is it? What's bro pointing at?
Maybe this one? What?
Oh, this one?
Okay, that one?
Okay.
I don't know what that. Does that go up?
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-oh. Okay, the top one again.
Get on my shoulders, Anthony.
Uppies.
Press that button.
I pressed it.
Top one again. I'll pick you up.
Nice. Oh!
Hey, woo.
Fun.
Peaceful without you guys.
Shut the fuck up! I didn't say that. I just the silence was off. How you guys cooking? Okay, so there was what were you pointing at the walkie-talkie? I thought for a second I needed to pick up the walkie-talkie. I thought you needed a Big Willie for a second. I got a little nervous.
Well done, team. That was amazing.
Wait, someone grab the walkie.
Braden child.
What? This light with us.
You want Julia?
What?
You grab this walkie
Okay. Which one?
on the ground.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Hey, motherfucker.
Oh wait. This is Steven.
It's just me. Just me.
They can hear it though once they start getting to the top of the thing. It's like a universal radio up there.
Oh.
Hey, motherfuckers, can you hear me up there? Over.
Julia's abusing comms over. I'll let you lead. Just, I'm just letting you. Yeah, you do.
Are you a little worried about the padding? That's okay.
No. I'm just, monkey see, monkey do.
Okay. Yeah, and you know what? Yep. That's fine.
You know what song I never liked, Julia?
Last, bo bass, banana, bo bass, me, my, mo, mass, last.
Just kidding.
Excellent,
That was-
amazing.
That was
Great job.
amazing timing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So was the green hut? Was that light lit up when the ball was in there, or no? Hey,
The
can
one
I
that we
make
just did
less
the puzzle in?
sense? Let me make less
This
sense.
is making great sense.
La la la. Okay, okay. Yeah, was it lit up or
The fuck
like
we were
what-
just in?
Yeah, like the red lights, or is that? Or I think okay, so
Like
I
the
think-
balls we carry around lights?
okay, so if you look over here, there is a red blinking light.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that that is all these other red blinking lights. They all have the same like walkie-talkie. La 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 la.
Oh.
I wonder if at the very, very end, once it's all finished or whatever, we'll have to be on a different one. I don't know. But I'm trying.
Or maybe we get-
what the red blink.
Probably like stations we can talk to each other. Like
Oh,
Yes.
true.
Like super lost.
Because I keep seeing the red blinking lights, and I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, for shizzle.
What is that?
No,
Christ.
no. What was that? No, that's not Scotty.
Sorry, I don't know. I was just trying something new.
Yeah, take that one back to the workshop.
I'm sorry.
Nah, man, it was good. It was good. I liked it. I liked it when you were dressed as Spider-Man.
Should we wait
I
for
think
daylight to see where we go next?
Till sunrise, so we can see
Yeah.
where to go next.
Yo, Banth, when you went to the showing and the guy was dressed full Spider-Man outfit, did he recorded one of those videos where he's ordering tickets and they're like, "Which movie are you here for?"
yeah.
That's funny.
He
No,
said the
I
Lorax.
was talking to
Don't
Matthew.
worry, guys, I'll
He
put
has like a
on
whole
music for
YouTube
us.
channel where he makes like Spider-Man suits and everything. I was like, what the hell?
Man, that is awesome.
Oh. That's
Just
cool.
some waiting elevator music.
It's
Oh,
giving like I'm
the
checking in
vibes
at a
here are
Hilton.
Good vibes, really good vibes.
Literally, I'm in the elevator at a Hilton. Is so good.
And you're like squished in the back corner, and there's so many people around.
Yes.
3 stops along the way.
Sunrise is happening. Look how beautiful.
I like the hotels that give you like warm cookies when you check
I
in. I'm
remember
like, this is
moment
home.
forever.
I'm on screenshots.
I'll need about 3 more of those.
You open the blinds to look out at a parking lot. You're like, this little girl's gonna be okay.
Driver, take me home.
Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio.
Driver, take me.
He's like, ma'am, I don't know who you are. It's so
Wait, have you
silly.
seen that clip of like I forget what movie it is where the person's like take me home and he's like I don't know where the fuck you're going. Is that what you're referencing?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I think it's like Dakota Johnson.
Yeah,
or
Dakota
something.
Johnson. Yes, yes.
It's so random. Like,
Was that
okay,
like an
so
SNL
random,
skit or something, or was it like in a
Yeah, I
movie?
think
Or
it was. He's like, bitch, I don't know where you live.
yes, yes,
She's like looking out the window. It's like raining. She's like,
yes.
Okay, so where to next? Where do you guys think?
Let's take a big walk.
Now that we can see shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he said it.
He said the thing.
He did the thing.
I think I want to
so-
jump off and go there. There's like a
That's
house,
away was where we did the basketball hoop thing.
What?
Did you throw off? Is that all you got to eat?
What?
What was that?
Oh, we will plan without him maybe because we need to see shit from up here. Oh my god, beautiful.
Wow.
That was Julian, my good friend Julian.
Oh no. I see him down there. I think he got it. Yeah.
Wait, throwing in like random little facts like as you're making comms. Oh no, it's my friend Julian from Los Angeles. Oh my god, no.
Like Julian that loves dogs.
Yo, Rose, have a good
Like
night,
he's trying
dude.
to tell us something.
If only he could tell us. If only he had a walkie.
Oh god, if only I fucking had the binoculars, I fucking needed them.
It's a yellow thing.
It's okay.
I
They
know.
actually
What's-
were very yeetable.
Do we go towards like? There's so much to look at. There's like the blue like balloon over there. There's.
There's a lot down.
Do we just go towards the end of the blue tunnel? Where?
What's
That
the
red?
yellow one? If you guys look at the beach too, have you guys done
Yeah,
that
I
one
saw
yet?
that. Oh no.
We have not.
Oh, you guys wanna
That
go
that one
next?
feels
Okay,
close.
yeah.
I'd go there.
Let's
Okay.
go to the yellow.
Oh, that guy returned. Oh, nice. All right.
Oh,
Where do we go?
Sammy. Justice, you got the framing right? Wait, what's the quote? Justice, you got the framing right? 3, 2, see ya. Come on, someone does that. Well, when you jumped off, you dropped it.
Oh, did I leave it at the top?
No. It fell down the mountain for sure.
Oh, W.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be so helpful. And these are
Do
like
you want
little
to see some
backpacks.
Julian? The walkie-talkie.
Wait,
Try
yeah,
putting the
Banthy,
walkie-talkie
put
on
the.
my backpack.
What do I
see if
do?
that works.
Oh, you have something on your back.
The walkie-talkie on the backpack.
Oh.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh. It's like a.
Wow.
Do I look sick? I can't even see what I look like. Do I look
You
sick?
look so sick.
You look like an adventurer.
Oh fuck yeah.
You're strutting your stuff.
Now, if anyone sees a laser cutter, let me know.
Oh
Bye, Mom, off to
man.
school.
First day of school, kind of nervous. Didn't pack my lunch. Going that lunch money.
Do we have the other, the blue talkie thingy?
Oh wow, I like that.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Makes my teeth feel weird.
Oh, big. This is gonna be a maze.
Kyle, thoughts on the game so far? Just
Chat?
watching was.
I've never needed anything clipped to me quicker.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think they'll definitely add some quality of life things hopefully soon, where that I think that'll just really like take it to a next level. But for a day one, I think it's pretty good.
I might
It's
be
like a
lying.
corn maze.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think I got used to it. I think the range of like where you can hear people and how much you can hear them should be bigger. But like after that, just adjusting the volume, which I think they'll definitely figure out.
Yeah, it's definitely a place for a light. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go get everyone. Go grab a light.
I know this maze. I've seen this before.
Like that.
That does make sense. These are out here.
It could be up to 12. So as few as 2 and then as many as 12. Tomorrow's gonna be a bigger one for sure. A lot more.
Through the walls. So here, put that back. I think we
Is
have to
that a
go
bomb?
from one side to the other. So let me get on the other side of you.
Is that a bomb, Julia?
Yeah, it's a hot tomato bomb.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't know what I'm doing. I saw. How'd you put it down? I feel like I got caught.
Yeah, you did get caught. Okay, so do you want to be the person who picks the bomb up, or do you want to go over here? We need to like hand it off through the holes, I think.
Turn around.
You stay here. Are you gonna run away from me?
Okay. Let's see. It is. Yeah, it's definitely. We have to put the
You can keep
tomato
it if
in
you
that
want.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't fit outside. So yeah. Okay, so we need to like position ourselves around them. Or how much time do we have?
It's like very short, I feel like.
But can you like shove me through the thing?
No.
Whoa.
It's like we have to
I know.
position ourselves outside of it, I think.
I also think when we hand it over, it's not like it makes the timer grow more. It's like it's just still a timer nonetheless. Like we just have to get rid of it.
So do we know the route? I guess like, or no?
We don't. Hold on.
I want to pick it up. I want
I know.
to
I
see.
yeah. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
MacGruber.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh.
All right, about 12 seconds?
Oh, it just respawns. Nice.
Yeah.
Sophia
Okay, we can
W.
do that in 12.
Guys, it's so funny the amount of like people that reach out to me, like people I haven't talked to, people I do talk to, and been like, "Yo, got out of Spider-Man." Like I'm just like their go-to. They're like, "Yo," and no, we haven't talked in forever, but yo, Spider-Man. I'm like, "Yeah, man." Someone was calling for me. Hello? Yeah, it is sweet. There's nothing like on a wholesome note. There's nothing better than like a piece of media that you love being like having something new and it being good and other people enjoying it.
Okay, perfect.
Hi.
I just need to hand it off. So you can hand it to me. I'll hand it to you. Okay. I think I'm
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
I really. Oh, we did it! You did. Let's go.
We did it. That was fun. I like that one.
Back up the hill we go.
Back up the hill.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow you guys. I don't know where the hell I'm going.
I know.
Me neither. I think we're
But you know what?
like
It is
diagonal.
called
I
a big
see it
walk.
up here.
That's
Oh,
you know what? It's
right.
exactly. It's not called Little Walk.
It's not called airplane. We're gonna.
It's not called stroll.
It's not called Big Lazy Sit Around.
Yeah, you're right. We'll guide the way with these little lamps.
Where's Julian? I'm beginning to get worried about his whereabouts.
My chat was just asking.
He should have a walkie-talkie.
Yeah. He has that laser instead.
Can anyone hear me, or am I alone?
Whoa!
Oh my god!
We just Can someone take it off of my back? Is it on my back?
Yeah. I got it.
I hear you, and you're so alone.
Okay.
Over.
What the hell? Oh my god, that's so funny.
He probably sees us.
You're alone. You're alone. But we're coming.
You've never been more alone in your life.
I don't. Wait. You know, okay. I'm in a train, bro. Where are you?
Train?
Bro, it's about to walk.
No, don't. We're coming to you.
Tell him to just hold on.
Is he in the little train hole thing that we were in?
I think he meant he's listening to Train. Hey, Soul Sister.
Train hole.
Yeah, like tunnel, I mean.
Train hole, I hardly know her.
Oh,
You
yes.
guys know what I meant.
Yeah. Man, we
He's on a path of self-discovery.
Wait, yeah, wait, hold on. He's in a train?
I think he's in a train. tunnel.
Train. Now it's a party.
Oh god, I'm too fucking.
No, I need to put it down.
We're putting another thing in the thing.
Good
Thing
conversation.
in the thing. Let's see if I can see him up here. You can't see without a that like glass already?
Stick her in.
Yeah. Number 3. Done.
Hey here.
Julian, where are you? Over.
I got left and abandoned on a train. I'm on a train car, and I'm sitting here with the radio. And let me know if you can hear this.
Tell him it's not about the train.
We heard
it's about the
nothing.
walk.
Over. It's not about the train. It's about the journey.
Both bands, by the way.
Let's
Over.
see if I see like a light he has or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Julian, can you get a light? And then go outside.
Get a light.
Get a light. No, I can't find any light. I can't find any light. All I have is sound. I just have sound. Could you not hear the sound?
Oh, 6-7.
Ask him to yell really loud.
Yeah. Can you yell really loud?
Yell 6-7 over.
I'm seeing something interesting.
Yell IRL.
When we talk,
Oh, I hear his echo.
the lights light up green, not red.
Oh.
You can tell when people are trying to communicate on radio.
So smart.
Wait. Julian, did you go towards the red tunnel with the blue bendy straw? Is that what the train is?
Oh
He
yeah,
hates
the
me.
red tunnel we went into. I don't think he
Is
hates
that
you.
where you are?
You're a good guy. Don't worry.
He hit me. He might hit
I
me.
don't know where he went.
Is there a light on the train? I don't know. I didn't know there was.
Is it like a
vehicles on this
subway?
train.
Julian, scream IRL so we can hear you.
I already did. I just did.
I can hear his echo. What the?
This is your captain speak.
We just fired a flare to the fucking sky.
You see that?
We fired a flare to the fucking sky.
Okay, good flare. I am on the literal opposite side of the world. I will be on my way.
Oh no.
Holy shit.
You mean you're gonna take a big walk?
Yes!
Oh my gosh, I hit 50K.
Yay! On your birthday!
On my birthday.
Happy birthday! You got 50K. Happy
Thank you,
birthday!
thank you,
got
thank
it on
you.
the day.
50K on Twitch, that's so fun.
Wait, that was
Thanks,
very Red
guys.
Robin of you, Kaylee.
Do you like that? I can freestyle.
Should do the claps too.
Clapping in game.
Yeah, you're clapping in the game. Woohoo! Hey, oh my god! Hold on, I have to go pee real quick.
I think he saw it. He said opposite side.
Maybe he left the game?
Does he have a walkie-talkie?
No, we have both of them. We have both of them.
How is he talking to us?
Oh, wait, no, you're right. Oh, he must have found a new one then.
He must have. Keeping an eye out.
Is that
Only had
green
those
building
two
down there? The one we went to?
That one. I think
Anthony, yes.
I think yeah.
The one that's right there, yeah, with the 3 leg humps, yeah.
We did
The
that
3 what?
one, We did
3 humps.
3 little humps.
I'm gonna just. I think we should just head down.
Why he's on his little way to us, right?
Oh, did he say he
That's
was
what
on
he
his little
said.
way?
Here, I'm gonna shoot another one. I'm gonna ask him.
Just shot off another flare. Let us know how far you are. Over.
Sometimes silence is a good sign. I'm worried. He didn't reply.
Some say silence is golden.
They do say that silence can be a virtue.
They sure do say that.
We come to this place.
Nicole Kidman.
I don't. You know, it's funny. I don't know any part of the rest of the ad. I don't
Back
know.
over to a big old messy shit.
No, it's heartbreak. It feels good in a place
Bro,
like
we
this.
can't
That's
find
like the
anything
thing.
in our line.
All right.
Aperture lets the light in.
Not flares, hopefully it'll
Check
change.
this out. We'll be back by the time he's back.
You wanna go? You wanna go?
Be right back.
All right, Julia died.
He's running around at the moment. Oh, he is? Okay, well.
He's at the green thing? We could follow Julia.
Oh,
'cause
he's at
he
that green
has a-
thing?
I don't know, it's some green thing.
I feel like. Do I see him in there?
Oh, beat's about to drop on this.
Yeah, set up another flare, maybe?
Yeah, Stefano Flare. Dude, yeah, no, the design's like sick. I was
You got sign, Julian?
I was
Over.
cracking up, guys, in Chris's chat because someone said peak but brown.
Does Julia have a walkie-talkie?
I thought so.
Oh my god, Julia, I see him!
You see him? Yes.
I was like, I mean, yeah.
He's down the line.
Wait, you see him?
I see
He's
him.
right down there.
Oh, I see him.
Dang.
Julian!
This is emotional. This feels like soldiers coming home at it.
It literally is. Spirit lead me from
Can we
my
jump down there?
veins without waters. Let me walk it on.
And then he, like, the person returns home and there's like a slow-mo hug and like.
Yes! I'm coming home.
I'm coming home.
Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away. Yes,
so worried about you.
This is like when they win the Olympics and the World Cup and they come back at the airport of their home city and everyone's there.
Yes.
Ju-
So Julia left to go find you. I fear she's on
No,
a
she-
solo
she-
mission.
Said she was coming back.
she went to go like research some stuff. I think she went towards the red
Oh,
building
Mama
over
said
there.
She was coming back after the Mama
So
said.
unbelievably fucking far from y'all. Oh my god, dude. Do you know where
How
I
far
was?
were
I
you?
was. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we-
like
we will
follow
play
the train track. It's going like over there. Oh, over there.
Over where?
Around that big rock. You see how it goes to that like the train? Follow the blue train tracks.
Oh.
So it goes
So
into
there
the
is a
rock
train
and then
you were
around.
on.
There's a train. I was on the train car, and I think it's a puzzle that you unlock, and then you can use the train on the map.
Oh, to go places.
your butt.
Yes.
Around the corner.
What? Yep, exactly. Up your butt around the corner, and then there's a train car, and that. Yeah, but I couldn't believe that got no more.
Interesting.
I don't know where Julia went though. I thought she went towards the red thing. Oh no, son.
Big.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, Obsession was great, but it's just so
Oh, he's still
scary.
up here.
I watched Obsession in my Discord last night. It was very spooky, scary.
You watched it in Discord? Was that your first?
Dude.
Yes. Yeah, my
Dude.
first time seeing it. It
We
was
worked
good. I feel like
so
it's gonna
hard on
win
that
some,
movie.
like,
It's so
awards.
good.
Yeah, That's
Yeah,
a
I
banger.
really, really
I want to
It's
watch it.
so
That's a
sick.
good idea.
You said we worked so hard at the movie?
Well, yeah, like you know, to view it, it's like, you know, it's an experience.
Well, of course. Well, we all worked
We-
on it as
We
as
also
a
worked
team, a
so-
collective.
I worked. Yep, we did that.
Ugh. In fact, I'm at work right now. Working
Our
hard.
movie we worked on.
I'm at work right now. How about that, huh?
How about that? How about them apples?
I kind of think of this as like volunteering.
Playing with me? Playing video games to me is like volunteering?
No.
He said it's charity work.
Charity
Chad.
work.
That's crazy. I like how, like, when someone's gone, we just got, you know, it's like, we'll see ya.
Yeah.
I'm like, do we wait for her?
One person's gone, and then the next person comes back, and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna go look for them. Then they come back.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those
Yeah.
helped a lot. Those helped a lot.
Did
Okay,
they?
good.
They did, bro. They were my guiding light in the sky.
What they were saying? Yeah,
Julia,
those
come in,
helped a
over.
lot.
Julia, Big Willie trying to find you. Over.
The way we have all 3 microphones right now.
She
No,
doesn't
there's
have a
no
single
way
one,
she
does
could-
she?
Wait,
No.
Julian, how did you hear us if you didn't have a walkie?
Oh, brother, there was a whole radio system in the train. I was using it at the top.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, she's looking for the binoculars.
Oh, and I
Oh.
lost
got the
the
binoculars over
laser
here,
pointer.
I think I see him. Julian,
What? What?
are the
what?
no, are those the binoculars right there? Kind of okay. Look like 1 o'clock from where I am. There's a red thing in the
1
ground.
o'clock. Oh,
Ren is-
fuck.
Red thing on the ground.
Sorry, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, more. Dude, okay, look
I
at the
see it, I see it.
yeah, the red thing is in the middle of the where the yellow structure is. In the middle of that,
Yeah.
there's a red thing in the ground. Are those the binoculars?
Maybe. Should we check? Wanna go check?
What's going
We're
on?
close to home. We're just gonna go.
Oh.
I'm down.
He's
for a
gonna
little
go. The red thing in the middle of the ground there might be the binoculars.
Oh.
It's a flashlight.
Oh, wait till he finds out.
Well, boy,
Oh, he's
that'd
going-
be a rude awakening.
He's going the wrong way. We lost him.
He got an orb.
Yeah, we'll play some Toontown tonight, y'all.
Oh wait, I see the flashlight you're talking about. Yeah.
I can see where all the items are.
Well then, is that? I don't know where it went. What do you see? Yes.
Video camera.
I do. I have the video camera right here. Want me to come with you?
Can I borrow that? Or yeah, you wanna help me? I'll light the way and you look. I'm trying to find the laser
Absolutely.
pointer.
Lean Beef, thank you for the freaking raid. W.
And then
Can you
there
hear
was.
me? Over.
I can hear you over.
Over. I can over. I'm safe and sound. Over.
Where are you?
Yes, Julia, we are at the. I got the red tower.
W.
Yes, over.
Tower over.
Thank you, Lean Beef Patty.
I was trying to look for the binoculars. Over. I think the little camera thing up there tells you where your items are. Over.
We're walking down from the red canvas bucket thingy.
I'm coming.
Okay, over.
No items yet.
I'm gonna head to the tower and find you guys. Over.
Okay. Okay, I'll come back.
We have a red orb we're walking around with.
Yeah, do you see that, Julia?
Sorry, I'm at like the main hub for the radio. I'm gonna walk towards the big tall red tower at the top that we have like the shooty thing for, and I can meet you guys up there. I'm gonna walk around with a yellow light. Oh, over.
I do wish the game didn't have such a... It really relies on... everyone sticking together, which can be like kind of impossible, depending on like how many people you have. Like with like 10 people, no shot. Like no shot. Can't see shit. Over. Oh, is that where everyone is? Oh no. Oh, guys. Oh no, my child. The walkie. Oh no. We held on to it for so long. Oh, we're cooked. What? Weren't they here? Oh, great. Where's everyone? I'll check. Damn, yeah. No, nothing. Yeah, it's almost like, oh, I was worried when we got split from 5 to 4. I was like, uh-oh. Try to see if I can find him back. It might have fallen even further. Well. Did I go ADHD or did I, or was it like, did they run off? Is that them? Oh, they're searching for the binoculars. Sure. Well. Yeah, no, I wish there was more inventory slots for sure. Where is everyone at? Over? I'm completely lost. Hmm. Milwaukee's gone. Like Philip's song. Okay, so not down here. Ugh. Yo, no problem, dude. Maybe I just go back to the red tower? It was yellow. Why, you see something? Oh no, like I just lost him. No, I do not. Hello?
We'll never leave you ever again.
I lost the walkie, by the way.
That's okay. You can do mine.
We'll never leave again.
We'll never leave each other.
So we have two
we'll
more
walk this way
things
and
to
we'll go
put
to
in
the
those
puzzle.
thingy holes.
Okay, I'm down.
Okay, I'm gonna follow you, Julia. Team leader. We're the 5 best
What's up,
friends
Excella?
that anyone
Dude.
could ever have. We're
Yeah,
the
man,
5
it's
best
pretty
friends.
nice. Just got lost a little bit. Ah, yes, I'm having fun. Oh my Wait, fuck, I lost them again. Bro, I gotta fucking focus. I lost them. Bro, Was it this way, guys? Fuck me. The red tower. Like the one we were all at before? Oh, okay. Bet. 6, 7.
Okay, so that you did. Yeah, okay, we'll follow you. Everyone ready?
On delay. We need Kaylee. Where'd Kaylee go? Oh, there's
Where's 6, 7?
Kaylee adventure.
Off we go.
Got some background music. Got a laser. And I have a walkie-talkie.
And I've got support.
Yeah, you do.
We need that.
Yeah, just like that. Okay, y'all see that thing right there?
Yeah, the chair looking thing.
And or also the thing that's in the trees by the beach, that like orange thing by the beach. There's like 2 things over there.
There we go.
I don't know which one to tackle first. See one of the beauty blender fucking key things there.
Papa's giving me a
Keep my
ride.
eyes peeled.
Hey. Yeah, pick me up. Pick me up.
Hey, mom.
Yes, I can see over the tall grass.
Hi.
Where'd you go? It's about to get dark out here.
Show this way.
I dropped it.
Dropped what?
I don't know where it went. My laser pointer.
Oh, we're fucking ruined.
I found it.
Okay.
What?
Oh, that looks like a clock.
I wonder if it, when it goes to 8 or between 8 and 9, if it comes.
What about between?
I'm not sure if we can go up there yet. It looks like impossible to. Oh. But there's something in the woods over here that I think we should go to.
You mean the yellow thing?
The yellow thing, I don't know if we can go up there, but there is one of those key things up there. I was thinking to the side.
Okay, let's try it. Let's see.
But I want to see what this is over here in the woods. There's like a big orange tree over here.
Let's do it.
Oh, I don't have a light. Wait, it's coordinates.
Ooh.
Oh, well, fuck.
Okay.
1899.
You know what happened that year, right?
Yup.
Oh, Lass. Or I don't remember if it was either Lass or Kaylee. Remember at the very beginning of the game where we pressed the button and I ran all the way to the other side to grab it? Lass, was that you?
Oh, that was last.
Are those
When you
coordinates?
pressed it with the
When you
That's-
ran,
it's the same. It's the same glass box. Remember when you pressed the button and the thing went up?
Yes.
It's the same box. So there's a button to press on these coordinates probably for us. But how do you get the coordinates?
Oh, I can pick it up.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fucking dark.
I know.
No,
I
we
don't
don't
have a
have
light.
light.
I don't.
That laser pointer giving it though.
Whoa.
I don't
Gotta catch
really. Once it's daytime, we'll be able to tell more.
Yeah.
I can walk around it.
Maybe this is the year our characters were born.
What? Controls, raise arms, break toxin.
I bet you it's like at the beach.
Oh, we could go to the beach. It's just dark as shit.
so lost. Where'd she say? She wrote the coordinates down in her 41661899. Really stumped me.
That definitely means something.
Kaylee, you might be onto something. Holy shit.
I see her eyes.
Oh, I see her eyes too.
Could be
Is she
that
possessed?
guy.
Oh.
Am I
Isn't
what?
the world like
Obsessed?
so realistic for how like cartoony we are?
I know.
Bro, I know.
I
I'm
know.
just looking at my feet right now. Like, stand right here and look at your feet, and then it's just like you're at the beach, like letting the water hit your feet. You know?
Dogs
Oh,
in the
that's
sand.
nice. Hit them dogs in the sand.
It's like Galveston,
Get them dogs in the
Texas.
sand.
Guys, ready for my light show?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yep.
Whoa!
Oh,
Okay. Damn. Woo!
When the neighborhood doesn't do
Oh my
fireworks and they do
God,
projection.
Vader. That was amazing.
I got
This
chills.
game makes me dizzy, kind of.
Yeah, if I look at the water, it makes me dizzy.
This game.
Oh yeah. Oh, they've got the fucking Milky Way in the sky. That's
Oh no.
Oh no.
sun's rising.
Oh good. Now we can see better.
Sea by the sea. So do we think those coordinates have to do with the train?
Good question. Anthony,
Yeah.
can you take the music off my back? Oh yeah. Julian, can you
Yeah, what's up?
can you put this in my backpack but have it be off? How it is. Fuck yeah, thank you. I loved the music at first, but then I started to feel like annoying, you know, like people who bring like speakers on trails.
Cook 'em. Cook 'em.
Just like, yeah.
One of my pet peeves.
Noise pollution, you know, in
Yeah.
quiet places.
Like I'm out here to hear things, like stop.
Yeah, we don't want to hear who let the dogs out on Max, on whatever fucking
Yeah,
device
listen,
that
bring
is.
your AirPods, listen to music, that's fine, but don't blast it for everybody else to hear.
We don't need to hear the Baja Man in nature. Okay?
No, I'm sorry. I'm different. I'm putting full blast speakers, Michael Giacchino. Like,
Yes,
Like a
but
G6? What do you put?
no, Michael Giacchino's like the scores. That would be.
I thought you said like a G6.
Like a
Ah.
G6.
Hey, man,
where we going? Where's Lass?
Let's.
I think she's this way.
Oh.
Over here.
Okay.
I saw her shadow. Yep, right here. Oh wait, maybe this is another thing.
Oh yeah, there's another thing. What? I think there's a little nub up there.
How'd she get up there?
How'd you get up there?
Go over to your right.
I'm here. So it's this one and then the other one up there, and that's it, right?
Yes. So here is what I think it does. We'll wait for Julian and Julia to get here. Okay.
Oh, it's one of the hot tomato things.
Yes, but it's gonna shoot it out. It's gonna shoot it out, and then someone has to go and grab it and bring it back.
Oh.
Oh, holy shit. Have you tested shooting it? How far does it go?
No.
What?
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'll go over there. Okay, Thor, hit me. I can't hear them.
Until it explodes. Oh, good idea. Let's see if I can throw it up there.
Bro, one more time. Fuck.
Keely, come and throw it.
Throwing it far.
You think I can get it right here?
Yeah, let's try.
Okay, good. Oh, sweet.
Yes! Let's go! One more. W, X, Y, and Z. Big Booty Fart Blaster, thanks for the follow. We're big walking.
Big walk.
So we just need one more, right? For that one thing up there?
I don't know.
I think so, son.
Oh, son.
You keep calling me son all night. It's like
Omega lol.
That's my dad.
So close.
The chum bucket.
Where they went. Oh, you got it.
Bada bing.
On do the honors.
Oh, almost. Oh.
Oh, okay, there we go.
One more.
One more.
Celebratory flare.
Nice, good flare, good flare.
Does anyone have the walkie-talkie? Over.
Oh, the yellow one. I lost that one ages ago. Like it's out on another Earth.
Okay, I'll just hold on to this with hopes and dreams.
My bad.
See.
Oh, Julia's back.
Oh wait, she's down there.
Yo, Ben, come
She's
here.
still at the yellow thing.
Yo, Ben. I don't care that you lost it. I'm not mad. They are, but I'm not.
We could go back down that way to the left and see a little something.
Yo, hey, Julian. Hey, Julian.
Yeah.
Julian, look at the.
He's turning his shirt backwards.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's a crazy play. That's a crazy play.
Oh, the last die.
Oh, I saw her. She's down there. She was by the yellow thing where we just were. She's making her way back up.
Making her way back down.
Let me see if I can. The light's about to go out. I saw her go down this way somewhere.
Oh, it's so easy to tell when you have the laser pointer. Holy shit.
We did last jump.
Yeah, she was jumped somewhere down here.
Where's Julie?
Oh,
See,
wait.
you see her light
Yeah.
flashing?
Yeah, let's go. Wait, you want to go to her?
Yeah, should we go to her?
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm
A
gonna
means
hold
of
this
carrying
for
more
now.
loot.
Oh, I hope I didn't lose that laser pointer. Oh, please tell me I didn't lose that. There's no way it fell all the way down here, right? There's no way.
It might have. Come down here. I'm gonna head over to the last question mark.
Okay. I lost the laser pointer.
Gone but not forgotten.
Very, very gone. And it will be soon forgotten. I should have jumped off the ledge with it. I mean, okay. I bet you. Where did she? No. Here's your little thing.
Okay, so we just followed the blue rail.
Okay.
I feel like it's dark out.
It's getting really dark. I hope I see an orb soon I can guide us with.
I- I think the flickering was over here. Am I goofy?
I think. To the right? I have no idea.
It was like at the end of the. Oh, we have an orb at least.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, good.
Where's the train of tracks? Oh, here, it's over here.
Hey, motherfuckers, over.
We're on the train tracks. Over. Oh, I see Les. Yes.
W, over.
Red ball thingy. And it's at the very top of this hill.
Oh, you found it?
Okay. Yes.
Wait, come to us. Come to us.
Okay.
How do we
We
go
found the
back?
coordinates, like for everything.
Okay, on our way. Where are you guys right now? By the.
Just go through
Jumping.
where the train tracks are, like we're at the station where where the clock is, and then the yellow bench, and then you'll see Spider-Man with the colors.
On our way.
You can bring Julian too.
So if we go to the very top of this hill, do you guys see that that platform?
Yeah, like the ramp.
I believe we can get a last red thingy by
Okay.
going up there, because I saw one. I'm like, yes, please. Also,
we
I don't
can
know how this
totally
train
do that.
works.
I know. I thought it was gonna come.
Oh yeah, didn't he say something about like activating something to make the train work? He being the other dude.
What were the coordinates again?
It was 1899, and the first one was 4166.
I see them. Does it have to do with time?
Can you like move the
no,
clock or
no.
something?
I don't know. Honestly, just let me shut the hell up. What the hell am I even saying?
No. Cook.
I see them. Oh, that was their orb. Hello.
Oh, I see their weird asses coming down the tunnel. Took a walk.
To go walk, oh.
That song was probably used in every car commercial ever. Like, to go walk,
100%.
take a walk, get the new 8 with 0% APR. Like, you know, like.
I'm like, literally, I want a Honda now.
I'm coming home.
Literally coming home. So how does this train work? Did you guys take it all the way back?
I don't know. I think Julian's the only one who's been on the train. I don't know how to figure it out.
Yeah, we don't know if he was lying either. Hey, there they are. There they are.
Great news! Yeah. To get one final red thing, we can go to the top of this mountain, and there's one puzzle that has a red thing in it. So I think that there's like various puzzles around the map that use the 4 or 5 like red things, and we're like exploring to find them. But there is one that's up there. If you guys see that
so
like
it's
red
not,
platform.
Like, a 5 amount on this section of the map.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. But it's
Julian,
worth a
how
freaking shot.
How did the train
right now?
work?
I have no idea how the train works, but if you guys see that
We haven't been
platform
on
up
the train
there,
But Julian, weren't you on it?
not too far at all.
Yeah, we can see if we can go around.
It actually looks like a pretty quick puzzle, apparently,
What was
is
the
what I'm thinking.
coordinate thing that measures it?
I have no idea. I thought maybe it was a clock, but I don't know. Follow me, everybody. Follow me.
I thought they said if I have a thing for the coordinates, but we're not.
Ant pile, if you will.
Everybody follow me. Everybody follow me. Oh, well, I'm stuck here. Fully just stuck here. Why am I stuck?
Need help?
I'm stuck. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I'm not stuck anymore. There we
Good, I'm
go.
stuck. Good,
There
I'm
will be there will be stairs. There we go.
All the steps.
Oh, none of us can get up.
Me first.
Me second.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Go.
I swear I'm good at games.
Huge.
Girl gamer.
Put your back into it.
I'm trying. There we go. Okay, see?
Oh.
So this is a puzzle. Okay. The way this puzzle works is
Okay.
there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 telescopes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you look through every telescope and it's pre-positioned at a platform. Okay. Now, at that platform, if you're standing looking at that little lectern, that little podium, facing you, over here, come over here now, is one of these symbols.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys,
we have to make
guys,
the
translate. I
symbol.
don't understand.
Yes, so we need to
understand.
make the
I'm just
symbol.
nodding and
Everyone
saying,
needs to
"Oh."
go to their
What?
own spot. We need to all divide and conquer, and then one person stay up here.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay,
One
okay.
person has to do two spots. But, so I have a laser pointer. Oh, wait, do we have a laser pointer?
So
Did you not bring it?
Oh, so about the laser.
Yeah,
pointer, I
about
think
the-
someone lost it. I think
Oh,
someone
fuck.
must
That's
have
okay.
No.
lost that laser
That's okay.
pointer.
Honestly, we have eyes. We don't need a laser pointer.
we got
Alright,
robbed, actually. Someone
so
stole it
one
from
over
us.
there.
Someone robbed us.
Who wants to go to
Yeah.
that spot?
I'll go.
All right.
I'll
go
do
on,
it.
Birthday girl.
Adios.
All right. Who wants to
You
go
on the other side.
to the next spot that's far out there to the right, but like to the
Which
left?
one is it
of
again?
us,
Let me take it. I'm gonna take a
think
double
I can
look at
go.
it.
I have my eyes on it.
Do we know what pose we're supposed to do when we're over there?
It
Whatever
shows
one
you
you
once you're
see, I
there.
think?
It shows
Oh.
you what's. There's a sign there for you.
Wait, don't we have to see which ones do?
We're gonna
No,
need
no, no. The
walkies for
person
this,
up
right?
here- the person up here is matching the poses.
But but don't we need comms?
I can
No, we-
stay up here if you are you guys or does anyone else?
Well, we only have one walkie.
just
That's the
looked at-
thing.
Yeah, we just
don't
look
need
through and you
comms.
just have to do the
Okay,
pose.
okay.
We don't need comms. Yeah. I'm gonna go for one of them.
Julian, you should go.
He's so dead.
All right.
Wait,
Anthony,
Julia, have you
go
realized when you mute
towards-
the mic, like your nose gets small? Watch this.
Yes. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Perfect. Anthony, do you see that one that is far out there?
So you talking about near the it's on a white rock? Far?
Yes. Can you go to that one?
Kind of in the direction of the green cup. Oh, Julian looks
Yeah.
Julian looks like he's headed towards that one actually.
Okay, then do you want to do that first one closest to me, and then after you do that, double check and make sure. Here, come here. See the one that Julian put? Make
So I'm-
sure that it is that.
How do I do that pose? Squat?
Just squat. Yeah,
So I'm
that's
doing the
squat
closest
pose.
one and just squatting. So the least amount of work. Got it. All right, here we go.
Yeah. Do the closest one, but it's not the squatting one. The squatting one should be in the top left, but you can go double check after yours there, and I'll make sure.
So it'll tell me which one to do, right?
Yeah, the sign on the pedestal shows you this thing you need to be doing.
Okay. Take a walk. Take a walk. Take a walk. Guys, when someone says this game has piqued my interest, how are you spelling peaked? Because there's a correct way and then there's the other way that people like to use. Oh, this game peaked. No, wrong. Sorry. Wrong. I don't know how to do this pose. What? Yeah, but how do you T-pose? Like that, I think. The thing is that we won't know if we did this correctly. That's the thing. We just won't know. Oh, no, no. Oh. I think Last is going up there. I feel like an idiot. Oh, Julia's celebrating. They got it? It was a fake sneeze. Got both of you. Let's go. How do I get back up? Help! I always see Spear and you never do it. Why can't I go anywhere? Did we get it?
Julian, we got it. We got it. You don't have to pose anymore. I don't
Is
think
he
has
still
a
posing?
walkie-talkie, though.
He's still posing.
Where and what?
You would have been in the middle one. Is he still there?
No, not anymore. He's definitely coming. At least it's
I'll
kind of
just-
easy to find.
I know, it's kind of dark, but I'll jump. Maybe.
You can turn it on and off too, like as you're jumping. Yeah. Venture into the forest, only 4 emerge.
Oh, I see his little eye.
I know.
Oh, there is this little eye. He's
Yes.
Wilson!
Yeah.
Wilson.
Guys, what's in my backpack right now?
You
It's
have the
it's
music
the
thing.
yeah.
Put the music.
Can you put the key there so it doesn't fall out when I fall?
Oh, that's so smart.
Oh,
Okay, let me grab it.
That way we keep it safe, and if I tumble, it's not like bolting out of my
There we go.
yeah, nice.
Hell yeah.
I lost
We
the bag.
solved it.
Nice work, team.
Yeah.
Let's go take
Yeah.
it.
Alright, we go.
I will go.
All right.
I see the drum bucket. That thing looks like a little dog toy that they like chew on or
no.
Fell down.
Oh wait, that thing. Yeah, there you
Yeah, wait, the sound.
go. Oh, I freaking fell. Yes.
Fell down.
Yes. Yeah, I have those.
Fell down,
They
got
don't
hurt,
look like a dog
got back
collar.
up.
Got hurt. Saw it. We all saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have two.
Weird.
Item. We've been here.
Oh, it's a basketball hoop.
Someone's been here.
Oh, it's up this way, right?
I think, yeah, following up the river, I think, leads us up there.
Yeah, the river with the water.
The river with the water, yep.
Spooky water.
So fun. We have been having the best time.
What has been y'all's favorite puzzle that we've done so far?
I liked the one where Julian had the laser and he was pointing at the light. That was so sick.
Yeah, that was good.
I like the.
What about you guys?
The maze hot tomato one.
Yes.
Oh, that was
Or
a
the
good
one
one.
where we got on everyone's shoulders and like then jumped.
Oh, the good old days.
Ah.
Seems like a forever
when I was
ago.
25.
Classic birthday joke you can only say on your freaking birthday. You know what's better
Literally.
than 24?
DD Mega Doo 69. Thank you for the follow. We're up 4 tonight. Guys, between the two Gooch follows, the booty fart blaster, and the doo-doo that follow I just got, we're up, bro.
Someone take it out of me.
What?
That is so legendary. Oh wait, here.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Absolute cinema.
It's key time.
Ooh.
We have to go to
What
all the
happened?
key spots now and.
Oh, the key spots.
Yes, key spots.
Yeah.
I forget. I don't even
where
remember where
they
they
all?
were. Not gonna
Oh,
lie.
there's I've seen a lot of them. They're just around. Where's Julian?
I don't know. He was talking in his chat about Google.
Did you fall and drop your key?
I fell and dropped my key.
On your back.
Sick.
Boom.
There's
Ooh.
there's
There we go.
one
And then
right
it'll
here and one right behind
it'll
us.
point us to where to go.
Oh, true.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. At the top here, at the end. It does like
Oh,
Chuck E.
that's so
Cheese
cool.
style.
I love Chuck E. Cheese. Okay,
Chuck E.
that way.
So fucking cool.
I do miss Chuck E. Cheese.
Dude, I haven't been to Chuck E. Cheese in forever.
I know.
We should go. Oh my god.
Oh, right here?
Do you think they like reuse their pizza like that one controversy was
Oh no.
We're gonna get
Maybe I
mismatched
like it.
slices. We went to
It's-
one of my
it's
slices
medium
has
potato
Chuck
stuff.
cheese on it,
It's
and
medium.
none of the other slices do.
Oh my god. Charles.
Charles cheese.
Mr.
Is this
Charles.
big potato stuff or small potato stuff?
Extra barnyard. I don't think you can go unless you have a kid. Okay, what if you're a kid at heart?
Yeah, I am a kid. Don't tell me what I am. I'm like their target audience.
Shaving key.
Charles E. Cheddar.
Shaving keys.
Shaving keys.
You shaved your key.
Nice.
Julian, oh, you have the camera.
Oh, is this taking us back to the spawn?
Yeah, the ghost cam.
Yeah. Second. Here's another one. Oh, and then it leads us right to the door.
Oh.
We need to go to. Nice.
Wow.
Cinema.
Man, I hope we don't get attacked or anything.
Yeah.
You don't get what? Okay. Now I'm scared.
He's right outside this blue giant door, isn't he? Okay.
Yeah.
The last key. Wow. The last key.
This is how we get home.
That we're gonna probably unlock.
Oh yeah.
Driver, take me home.
Yay.
So emotional.
Look, I made it. I'm coming home.
Oh!
Okay.
Whoa! What the?
Whoa! What the fuck is this?
Oh, it's a map!
This is the map.
Whoa!
Whoa, bro!
Dude. Oh my god, this is the whole map.
I remember when we were there. We went there. And there.
Is there a giant door opening?
What's the magic 8 ball?
Ceiling.
I fell into the map.
Holy
Oh, the ceiling is opening.
like a stadium.
Big ball.
Whoa!
Is that like a?
Up and hit it.
Is that a magic 8 ball?
No.
Yes.
And it's snowing. So
You guys, this map is giant.
And this is the map. Oh my.
It's just it's
This
still
is
opening.
Insane. I know, it stopped for a second and then it kept on going.
Wow. Feels like Maze Runner.
Oh my
Gotta get
god.
out.
Dylan O'Brien, of course.
This map is genuinely huge.
I know.
Yeah.
Just running around aimlessly.
Oh my god, there's a sound. There's like a metallic sound effect when you walk on the water.
Oh, that's fun. Wow, this map is huge.
I like that.
Oh wait, I wonder. Do you think? So are these all the little spots with like the key nubs thingy, like the red nubs?
Yes, I
Yes,
believe so.
Anthony, you're right. Yeah. These are all the puzzle spots.
Oh wow, there's so many puzzles then. What the
Holy
hell?
fuck, so there's this many puzzles. in
So
the map.
where are we? On
Yeah.
Yes. We're right here where I'm standing.
Oh, I see. Ah.
You are.
Yeah. And then
Do you
guys,
think
look,
it
this is the
takes them
tower, the
away
red
as
tower
we?
were up right here.
The Chumbucket Tower, yes.
Oh, Chumbak.
Yeah, the Chumbucket Tower.
Oh
Oh.
my god. But
And
the
then
owner's
Okay.
a
main
thief.
hub where the tutorial is.
Okay, so it doesn't take them away as you complete them. It just shows all of them like just outright.
Little
Right?
map.
Oops, shit, sorry.
This is
Say that again, Anthony.
Like it doesn't like update it as if like if we complete a puzzle, it doesn't like take away the nub, right?
Oh, it's not like a live active.
I actually think
Oh,
it
I
is. I think there's little blue flags that show
Blue
up.
flags.
Oh,
Yeah, when we're
oh,
done with
Flags are
it.
the things.
oh, wait, that's huge.
Wow.
So now we know which ones we've gone to and which ones we
Ones
haven't.
without the flags.
Oh. Oh.
That's sick.
So this is like a proper MF. This is like the Game of Thrones intro right now.
So yeah, we missed just this one, but that was like an extra because we only needed 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got the
And we
one up
grabbed
here.
Did all that neck just get here? Thank you for the follow.
Mm.
I'm curious about this train situation.
I know, I didn't get to get on.
Because not only is there a
haven't
train,
even
it looks like
seen,
there's
like, a
also
train
like
movie.
a gondola.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is
There's like a gondola or
train
something.
thing. Yes.
Yeah. What's this
Oh,
giant
whoa.
bowling ball?
I wonder if it
looking thing
starts over
here?
here.
And Ellie, thank you for the
Yeah,
follow.
we're on the other side of the
No,
fucking
no, I
dam.
tried to like.
No, we're gonna be.
It looks like it.
Holy.
What does it say, Angela, what does it
considering
say?
like, how big we are
It
on the
just
map,
says
this thing is gonna
it
be
just
huge.
says it's a sphere. Just a sphere. Just a sphere.
Holy
Sphere.
Well,
Just the sphere.
get on top of it, Keely.
Okay.
You just throw her.
No,
I am, yeah.
Here, you get on top of it.
Oh my
How's it
god,
up
I'm
there?
on top of it.
How do you feel?
I feel incredible.
You look
Well,
tall.
I'm on
we'll
top
play
of the
again-
sphere.
we'll play again soon, because this
I
was
know,
so
there's
silly.
so much like to unlock. I like it.
This is
I
so
know.
fun.
Yeah, would gladly go for another big walk.
Yes, I
Oh,
will take
me
more.
Take me on
big
another
walks in my
walk.
More
future.
big walks.
So this probably
Oh, I'll
also
take a
saves
walk.
progress then because
Yes.
we just finished
I'm
puzzles
sure
and
it
we
will.
have to-
Yeah,
Oh, it
'cause
do-
when
oh,
I,
it
when I
probably
open the
does.
lobby, it's like a save option, so it's like lethal kind of.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
slay.
Cool. I like that.
W Games. That was
Yes,
awesome.
thank
W
you guys
for
Yes,
freaking
W
games.
Games.
Yeah, this was
That was
super
awesome.
fun. I enjoyed solving puzzles with some pals. And thank you for the freaking best birthday gift ever.
Yeah, happy birthday,
Aw,
dude.
Happy
Yes, happy
birthday.
birthday, Les. I'm glad
Happy
that
Thank
birthday.
you.
I had a
Thanks,
great
guys.
Big
time, you
walk.
guys.
And that's big walk. You guys. That's it.
Mic drop. Mic drop on the
The
ground.
big walk was a friend we made along the way.